Yeah, we start on time. Yes, make sure you log on to doggiedimondstv.com, my official website. On there, you can see the merch, the social media, and videos that you might not have saw in the timeline. Everything is right on that site. doggiedimondstv.com. Listen, Coach Kandaka is now accepting new clients. And this is for artists, podcasters, business owners, content creators. And the services include social media growth, brand clarity, organic supporter building, rollout strategy, product management, and monetization strategy. Make sure you DM at Coach Kandaka on Instagram to book serious inquiries only. At Coach Kandaka on Instagram to book serious inquiries only. Let's go. Yes, don't forget.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
And I'm gonna need them likes to get hit. We got Black Ace in the building. We got Chris. Threats Philly is in the building. We got Arthritis Cream in the building. Okay. And me and Prescott I see you in that green. That means it's a member. EC is in that green. That's a member right there too. Bernadette Bernie is in the building. SCG Publishing is in the building. Kalila Austin, I see you. Sincere, what's going on? Tisha's in the building on that moderator. Watt Slice is in the building holding that moderation down. Mr. Q, what's up? Yes, I'm here. It's Boss. I'm trying to come on a little bit more early in the day because, I be doing the late night and people got other things to do, Going post through 28, I see you in the building. Just make sure y'all hit that like button. They've been playing with the numbers, but, we still got to keep chugging, Boogeyman, what's up? Don't forget.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
Yes. Chris Neely, what's up? Boston is in the building. So if you're just getting home from work, you cooked dinner already, did homework with the children's, it's the time to just sit back and you ain't gotta sit there, you could just listen, move around the crib, do what you gotta do. But we gonna have some real talk tonight. It's gonna get a little dark for some. Some people might not like what we have to say, but it gotta be said, and it's gonna be said regardless. Somebody gotta say it. Yes. Don't forget.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
YouTube, I don't know what y'all trying to do, but it ain't gonna work. I'm gonna keep going live and keep uploading content because the sabotage is on. Lucky, what's up? I see it. Not sending notifications out. I just not doing right. That's why I need them likes to go up. I don't know where you think you gonna go and hear some grown man lingo like this, but we got that for you. We gonna talk. Yes, we are here. We are here. We are here. Dopest intros on YouTube as well, too. Dopest intros. Uncle Pone, what's up? Ty Mitty, I see you in the building. Sincere, that's always good to be in the crib lifting. I did that earlier. J-Dub, what's up? I see y'all in the building. Yes. Also, man, listen, man. Hold on. Before I do this, people often wonder, how could you get interviewed on my channel? Just hit me on IG at Doggie Diamonds. Hop on a special offer. It's a 35-minute interview, included social media promo with your interview. We could live stream it, or it could tape it and then upload it later, and an additional guest could be in your interview. So you, your homie, your manager, whoever you want in there, group members could be in your interview. Just hit me up at Doggie Diamonds on Instagram. Let's go. All right, I'm here. Introduce yourself to the folks. Oh, I can't hear you.
I had my mic muted. Do
Hey,
tell me
that's
back.
that's that's that's
But
good. That's
salute
good.
everybody's brother Tad on the check-in. Peace, peace. What's the word, dog?
Not much. Hold on 1 second. I got a cough. Yeah, I had to get that out. Um, we talk every day, and based on the
Yeah.
conversation that we had earlier, we was just talking. You know, we talk about neighborhood stuff. We talk about family stuff. We talk about what's going on social media and just different things, different people. And we had a conversation today, and we was just like, "Yo, man, when dudes gonna grow up?" You know, it's a lot of celebration of dysfunction, failure, and it's just like it's getting more and more prevalent. And no matter where we look, no matter where we turn, this is just all we see. You know, this person did this amount of time in jail. This person laid this person down. This person did this. This person sold this a bunch of work. This one knocked a bunch of chicks down. And sadly, it's a lot of black men. And I don't think black men address other black men, and it gets celebrated, supported, and saluted. But me and you being family men, and the most important thing is being our family. We got so many babies in our family that look up to us. You know, we worry about their future, and we worry about what they're gonna have to grow up with. And if we don't start now having certain dialogue, there is no future for them, as well as the families in the chat family. So this is how we brought this dialogue, and you was like, "Yo, I want to talk to you about this." So I said, "Let's do it tonight." So ain't no time like the present. So what do you want to speak to in that to start it off?
I'm just thinking about the climate of what's going on in this country right now. You know, with the government shut down, and some states not getting their SNAP benefits, and everybody putting it on like it's black women who's going to be affected the most, and just on how so many people attack our community on a regular basis. I'm talking about the other side, the folks that don't look like us and don't care about us. But then when I come to our community, our demographic, dudes from the hood, dudes from the trenches, it's the same conversation. It's like, yo, F them N's and F them B's. I'm trying to not curse again, you know? And it's like, yo, where do we go and get our peace? We talking about black males and black female relationships. We talking about what's going on in politics, but even amongst us brothers from the soil, dudes who are fortunate enough to make it out of the 80s and 90s with our lives, limbs, and mentality intact, we still talking that about who's a snitch, who's a real one, who's live. Salute everybody who's coming home from doing a stretch, those who is fortunate enough to give time back. In fact, my niece's father get ready to come home. Pat's son
Oh
get ready to come
wow,
home
yeah,
soon.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
Shout out to him.
saying?
Yep. Shout out to little Pat.
He had got hit with some low numbers. So shout out to everybody who's working hard. The brother Bush from LG, his project
Right,
is
right,
working to get people home. So he's getting Pat's son home. And I salute all that. But when we get these second chances, what are we gonna do with them?
right,
And I'm not talking about him because he's young. I'm talking about the OGs, dudes in our age and generation, and dudes who are older. And I'm not telling nobody don't get it how you live it. That's not my platform. I'm not on that pedestal. I'm not on that mountain. But what I'm saying is, how are we gonna move forward in reality? What are we presenting? Everybody who talks about who's a real one, whether it's rappers or street dudes who are legends, they're respected because of the damage they did in our community.
right, right,
We respect certain dudes for how many bricks of poison they sold in our community. We respect the hitters for how many bodies they caught in our community. And I'm like, yo, we keep talking about the real, but we keep acting like children ain't growing up without their parents. We keep acting like mothers aren't missing their children around these holiday seasons. Some dudes are passing away behind the wall, not even getting to see the light of day, even if they got a release date, whether they sick, high, get jammed up in there, poked up, whatever, whatever. And it's like, yo, when we gonna change our mindset? We seen what went on in our past that caused us all of this trauma. For dudes to come home and jump on the internet, and I always say I salute every dude who coming home and figuring this digital space out because we can't do it on the corner no more. This is a new stream of revenue. So we need to tap in. But we can't tap in with that same mentality that got us popped,
that got us tapped out.
Yeah, we can't do that. And when I see brothers keep constantly beefing and beefing and beefing, and you know, we from the era where you beefing, I hold that energy.
Right.
Because we not gonna make no comments. Like this is how you get indicted. If me and you gonna argue online, I'm talking about what I'm gonna do when I see you. When I see you, I'm obligated to do it. Other than that, I ain't a real one, quote unquote, based on hood rules. Not saying that this is a reality because only your perspective creates your reality. But if I say I'm that real dude and when I see you offline, I'm gonna smack fire out of you, I have to do it. Other than that, I'm just talking shit and I ain't really a real one like I'm claiming. But why even put myself in that position? Dog, you can remember years ago, without going into detail or even hashing it, I just kept talking. I said, yo, you know what? There's nothing to even talk about.
Right.
There's nothing to talk about. And I just shut my mouth after that.
Time for some action.
Action speaks louder than words.
And you don't
But
talk
when we
about the
get into
action. The action is the action. It ain't even
action is the action.
The action is the action. It's not even
Just when you threaten me, I'm gonna just say, all right.
That's why I always say on the YouTube, I'll be like, all right, okay.
All right. You say you're gonna hurt me, I believe you.
Yep.
Now what am I supposed to do?
So now when I become
Now
the white piece on the chessboard and I go first, don't say nothing. Because I ain't
my
gonna be the
move.
black piece. It's my move. I'm going first.
Look, I got popped by somebody I didn't think would do it. He
Right.
pulled out, and I said, "Now you gotta pop me,
Right,
because
right,
you pulled
right.
it out.
Yeah,
And if you don't pop me, I'm gonna whoop your ass."
and when he and it's funny though because shit, I don't even know how old I was. I probably like 13. When he pulled out,
Yeah, like 14.
yeah,
14.
we pulled out. We chased him. He already shot you. We still chasing him. We ain't even had nothing. We was like, oh nah, we gonna break his neck until hold on, you bleeding bad.
So it start bleeding.
Yeah,
Like, bleeding bad.
yeah,
Hold up.
yeah.
When that because that adrenaline rush, you don't feel
Right,
nothing.
right. And we so
But
angry.
again, dog, what we said, we were teenagers. We were
14.
kids then.
I was 14.
We grown men now.
Right.
Why would I still think and operate in that mindset, in that frame of reference? So I see dudes who's going back and forth, and I don't want to see nobody get jammed up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to see everybody win because it's enough to win. I see the other side, the other folks, you know, the palm side. I see them, they stick together.
Right.
They may have these disagreements, but they working together, especially when it comes against us. But us, we get in a position and we keep kicking each other down off the ladder, down off the ladder. Then when you get to the top, you're surrounded by all the ops.
Right. And you know what's deep about that? Because although the palm sides stick together, right? They the ones who perpetuate in the shit that they never had to do and did. They the ones who talk about who was snitching, who got paperwork, and who a rat, and you gonna slide for somebody and all that. Who you ever slid for? Because when you start having that dialogue, that's different dialogue. That's not dialogue. You know what I'm saying?
That's criminal dialogue.
Free my guy Sherm the Worm. Free my brother, our brother Turf. But free Sherm the Worm. And when I speak to Sherm been locked up for like 25 years, right? And Sherm always talk about giving that time back. And he always say, yo, bro, I was a kid. I didn't even realize how little I was when I was wilding. Yo, I was a kid. I didn't understand that what I did. I didn't understand what I was doing. So the way I think now, I don't think like that no more. Like I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? So the point that you making and that I'm making is that we got people who should know better, but still perpetuating something like their children. You grown-ass men and grown-ass women, you know? So I find it ironic. Like I got an individual who has a YouTube. I don't know what they was. I don't, I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know their street reputation. I don't know shit. I also don't care either because, that don't mean nothing to us, But dude just keep DMing me. And it's like, yo, you trying to provoke me to say something about you. You trying to provoke me through the DM. One minute you DM me and big me up. The next minute you'll DM me and say stuff. And it's like, yo, get off my dick. Like you want me to argue with you in the DM? Just do something with yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you're successful at what you're doing, why are you so concerned with me? Because I'm not concerned with you. I've never DM'd you first. I only replied to you one time. But then it's like, I don't know. We really gotta check a lot of our black men mental health too.
Yeah.
Because
And
I'm not talking about stress. I'm talking about clinical. Some niggas need medication, man. Because something is wrong with you. And for some reason, for you to always provoke and paddle and prod at people who not messing with you, what is your problem? But you doing it digitally. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you need help. And one thing about me and you, there's been times in our life where we'd be like, yo, I gotta go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Cause my thoughts ain't clean, my spirit ain't clean, my mind ain't sharp. And we talk to each other, but we gonna go talk to a professional. And we've been surrounded by people from the hood, our friends, our homies. Like, yo, that nigga need help.
Well, we knew since hold up. First of all, they was in special ed when we were kids.
Facts.
Let's not forget that.
Yo, five
They
niggas in the
basement
class.
classroom.
Five
Word.
niggas. Yeah.
5 dudes and 2 teachers.
Right.
Those are the ones we was calling real ones too.
Right, exactly, because they were dysfunctional, because they would throw an egg at somebody. So once you get
They would
past,
take a childish dare.
but
There you go, punch them in the face.
the optimum word in that is childish.
Yeah.
See, we did shit at kids because we didn't have any recreation. Sometimes the recreation was catch and wreck. Remember? That was the wreck.
That was our recreation.
That was the wreck. The wreck was making somebody else bleed, cry.
Knockout games,
Yeah.
bigger pocket.
We
or
did
just
all
go
that.
rolling.
Or just go rolling.
moving
Just
around
go into another neighborhood. You know,
See what we get into.
yeah. So and then
But I want to
sometimes
say something real quick.
go ahead.
Real quick before we move on. Shout out to Turf, shout out to Sherm the Worm. And I want to say, because I'd be remiss if I don't really speak to their situation. When we went to see Turf, his spirits was up.
Right, smiling.
Spirits was up. You know what I'm saying? The whole conversation was positive. Everything about positivity. Like you said, and we saw Sherm, you know, I don't know him personally, but we saw him on the floor too.
Right. He was right there.
But what he told you, he was a child. He got his mind right. That's a real one. When you grow out of the former mentality that got you jammed up, that's what make you a real one. Not to the fact that you got an extensive resume in the streets and all this, that, and the third. You know, just to the fact that you can mentally grow up and recognize the error of your ways and know how to move accordingly. You know what I mean? That's what makes you a real one. And I just had to put that out there because a lot of our resumes, at least the quote unquote real ones, a lot of our resumes come out of things we did as children and young adults.
Right, before our
But now,
brain was
once you
still.
hit 35, 40 years old, 50 years old, you better not be thinking like you did when you were 16, 17. You know, back then you're looking for validation. You're still trying to find yourself, you know, and a lot of us become products of our environment.
And I want to change the conversation, and I want to be a little harsh in the conversation because it has to be said, and I don't think nobody's really saying it. With the whole Supreme Team thing going on, you know what I'm saying? They're not known for building a community. They're not known for building housing and doing sheetrock in the hood and shit like that. They known for laying shit down and hustling. So I had somebody comment one day and they were like, yo, nah, them niggas had honor and all that shit. And I'm like, how? Like, listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all audience. We have to be real. Now, respectfully, some of the things that some of the guys was doing in the 80s, 40 years ago. So I'm not gonna hold nobody feet to the fire for what they did 40 years ago. But we not gonna act like it wasn't fuck shit and bullshit. We not gonna glorify and salute dudes. We not gonna be like, yeah, they was getting it. Because they was doing it where they lived. They was doing it to their people. The first time a lot of dudes got top was from their man moms. The first time they got action was from their man moms. They was selling to each other mothers. They was doing all types of foul shit, laying each other down in the hood. So we not gonna sit here and act like they was honorable guys. No, there was no honor in being dishonorable acts. So those things was happening, although like I said, It was 40 years ago, some of the things, 30 years ago. So, but I'm not going to sit there and be like, yo, they was real ones. No, there is no honor in that. And this is what we're saying in 2025, when we do look at shit in hindsight, we say, damn, we did fuck our shit up. We did do that. Yeah. Instead, y'all saying, yo, they coming home, salute them and all that. Now, as for somebody like a Prince, when you come home and you still talking some of that same shit that got you locked up, I'm like, okay, when he going to change the conversation? Because I don't give a fuck about who's a CI, who's an informant and all that. Because that's talk for criminals. Yeah, you shouldn't be talking to the criminals no more. Because you're not a criminal. You said you paid your debt to society, right? You got locked up for what you did. You got a second chance to re-entry. Why are you talking about who's a CI, who's a foreman and all that? It don't make no sense to me, because you should not be talking to criminals unless you're talking about prevention. That's it. That's it. Go ahead.
Nah, you're 100% right. And I understand when people talk about that honor, and this is why I'm so adamant, and I say I die on this hill about, redemption and reforming, because I did shit I wasn't proud of when I was outside. You have to. When you outside, you have to become an animal or you're going to be on the menu. And I hated that I was in those positions. There was times I called you.
Right.
Yo, dog, if I don't make it home tonight, I'm here with this one,
right,
that
right,
one,
right,
doing
right,
this, that, and the third. That way, if you got to identify me, you know the whole story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the reality of being outside. And this is why I feel it's important that us as Black men, you and I, you have a big platform. I have the voice. I've done tons of work in the community, here in our community and on the continent of Africa, But this not the stuff that gets publicized. This is not what's cool. Talking about criminal element as if that's our identity is what's popping. So I just use this topic of conversation to get people to change their mindset. Because as Black men moving into this, I always say, yo, we're a quarter century into the new millennium. Like you said, a lot of shit was 40 years ago. 40 years ago. We need a new paradigm, a new reality, a new way of thinking and seeing things. Somebody said that Donald Trump was the worst president we ever had. I saw a lady say, no, he wasn't. And I thought it was profound. She said, you act like we didn't have Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Dump the drugs in our community.
Right.
So when we talking about all of these people, we talking about what happened 40 years ago. But you got little 25-year-olds that don't know nothing about 1997, 95, 93, 91, or 89, or 88. Right. They're the ones with the big voices now.
Right.
They don't know what this world was like before drugs hit our community and hit our families. Because it ain't like drugs didn't affect the strong Black men within our family. Talk about me and your family, our direct bloodline.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about redeeming ourselves as Black men because we saw what happened to our fathers before us, our fathers and our uncles. And then here we come right behind them and we do it to other people's fathers and uncles. And then we got these young dudes out here, like we got millionaires.
Right.
We got millionaires out here who losing their children. And I don't think that's funny and cute. I didn't think it was funny at all when Charleston White was teasing Gilly.
Right.
That's stay in character, homie, because that was violation, man. And I don't like to speak on stuff like that. Big U just lost his son, and there's people who's not famous.
Right, but I want to cut you with the Big U thing because some people say that's his karma for this. Why Black people always talk about Black people karma and we don't put karma on nobody else? Right. We don't talk about what's our karma. Look about what them folks did to us. What's their karma?
And it ain't karma, it's the behaviors.
But this is the point. No, but this is the point I'm making. They done dumped work in our hood. They done dumped burners in our hood. They done locked us all up, locked warrior classes up, done did all types of shit to us. But we'll say that's his karma because he ain't post my video. Where's their karma? So they don't get no karma. They done did shit for us for hundreds of years. There's no karma for them, but there's karma for us because I didn't do said thing to you or I walked past you and didn't speak. So that's my karma. That's why he crashed his car. Think about that shit. Black karma is only for Black people. We the only ones who talk about karma. They don't talk about karma. They done invaded countries, pillaged whole lands, sovereign lands, all types of shit. And they don't ever say to each other karma or no shit. That's only us. that we talking about each other karma. That's his karma.
Yeah.
Karma is
Yeah,
only
that's-
for us.
and see,
Karma
we
is
don't
only for
realize
us.
it's our habits. It's not karma. It is our bad habits that we have in the community. Things that we celebrate, things that we glorify, calling people who harm in our community honorable. And that's your perspective. It may be honorable that he's taking the money, feeding his family, taking care of his elders and the children in his family. But think about the destruction it's causing on the other side. Meanwhile, nobody is talking to us about real business,
Right.
about getting LLCs and how to properly file your taxes, how to properly secure loans, your Dun and Bradstreet numbers, and all this stuff. No, nobody's telling us none of this stuff. And everybody who is charging us. You look at the Indian people, they lock down Dunkin' Donuts and hospitality service.
And
You
gas
see them all up
stations.
in there. And gas stations, Chinese locking down restaurants
7-Eleven.
and nail salons. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to pick an industry and we have to bum rush it. And it's not like we can't do it because we've done it before. The problem is we don't study our history enough. We don't study our story. So when people yell like they anti-Trump, you're supposed to be anti-Trump, as if both Bushes and Ronald Reagan and Thomas Jefferson and all the other presidents was just great for us. Come on, man. We got to stop the rhetoric and really start doing some introspective thinking.
And
Start
stop.
looking in
Yo,
ourselves.
and I'm going to say
Yeah,
this, black men, y'all got to stop being bitches. Black men with this victim mentality. Black men with this victim mentality. Yo, it's bad. Because for every solution, some of y'all niggas find a new problem. I done had the harshest life. Shit. I done had a fucked up life. But I learned how to turn tragedy into triumph with the minimal support system. I tell y'all all the time, I got a lot of excuses. I just don't use them. It don't matter. The ends, that's all that matter is the end, the bottom line, the finish line. That's all that matters. Yo, I did this. Yo, yo, y'all got to stop that. We've all suffered losses, whether it was parents, whether it was loved ones, siblings. We all come from the same places. But the choices you make is going to define who you are. We all started behind the 8 ball. We all started at 0. I don't got no excuse for not doing nothing. Yo, it's still all on me, regardless. And that's called being accountable and being the man and being what it is. Because some of us try to remedy each other. And you say, yo, nah, bro, try this, that, and the third. Nah, I tried all that, man. All right, you just defeated. Because I don't fuck with defeated people. Anybody that I'm around and I say, yo, you think that'll be hard to do? And they say, yeah, man, it's going, I don't know how. All right, I can't fuck with you. Because I want you to tell me, nah, yo, if we jump off this building, yo, we could fly. And look, because I made wings. Look at the wings. Let's try the wings. Yo, you know what? Fuck it. We going to fly together. And you could attest to the people, the shit that I tried when I was younger, it ended up working, but I wasn't supposed to try that.
Right now.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I wasn't supposed to try that. I was supposed to cry, yo, my mom's died when I was 2. That's why I get drunk every day. Yo, I want to kill somebody. I could have used all those excuses. I was like, nah, I got a skill, I got a talent, and I got a drive, and I'm willing to be quiet and learn and sit at people's feet who's doing it and just be quiet and just ask questions when it's needed. And I just was moving around in different spaces, never selling my soul, never being a fucking sucker, never being weird, but never using the excuse of what I couldn't do. All I did was do what I can do. And what I can do end up working in different spaces. So when I'm around a lot of you guys and y'all always bitching and complaining like broads, like bitches, because I say, bitch is not gender specific.
Exactly.
Bitch is not gender specific. It's not gender specific. You know, so when I see dudes talking about what they can't do and, yo, man, I had it hard. You want to hear myself? So what we supposed to do? Trade trauma stories? So when people always tell me what I don't got, what I don't do, I say, you must not know where I come from. Tad, how you feel when people tell you you cursed?
Nah, I'm blessed because they don't know my story.
Exactly.
They don't know where I come from. So where you may see me at right now, you may think this the starting point or the finish line. Again, that's based on your perspective.
Right.
Depends on where you met me at.
Neltron, I appreciate that donation. Yeah, man. Like, yo, listen, we say this all the time, and sometimes, we have to repeat it. Because what I find is a lot of things that we say sometimes, somebody else will regurgitate with a bigger platform, and y'all be thinking they all deep and introspective, but you got to realize the architect, right? I was 300 pounds before. Tad was 280 before. You know what I'm saying? We was at like our highest weights, super duper violent, eating wild, drinking 40s on the corner. He was smoking reefer. I never smoked reefer, but we drinking 40s. Just looking for ways to harm ourselves first and then harm others. And then one day you just get hit with an epiphany and just say, yo, we gonna start going to school. Remember that shit? Like, yo, we gonna start going to school. We gonna do this. Now, only thing I could say that we might have had that many of you didn't have is we had a brotherhood support system, because there's a bunch of cousins that comprise of brothers, but there's a bunch of cousins as well. And yo, it's times when we pick up the phone, we're like, yo, fuck is you doing? Yo, I heard you such and such yesterday.
I had a counsel.
And you can't say, nah, I ain't do that because people said you was outside doing that shit. Yo, who was licking them shots last night? That was you? Yo, you making it hot outside. Fuck is you doing? Oh, nah, but because you couldn't blow smoke because it was everybody against Taz sometimes. It was everybody against me. It was everybody against Mel. They don't know.
I used to be wild.
That's this is what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's a lot of times.
In the afternoon, you like, yo, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, who was out there? Was outside shooting? It might be after school or something like that. Yo, where them shots came from? So you start getting on the bat phones. Yo, who was that? I tell you later. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, everybody good though? Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? We come from that shit for real, for real. And these conversations are never gonna be popular amongst folks. Because I don't know how to make the bells and whistles come out. I don't know how to front to make you believe. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know how to front. I could just be as real in the conversation as real could be. And I just know that I'm tired of y'all niggas, man. I'm tired of y'all niggas. No, I really am. I'm like, yo, hold on. So we ain't shit. We never accomplished nothing. All we are is rappers, drug dealers, gang members, fucking chicks, knocking dudes out. We been to prison. That's all we are. Like, so we didn't accomplish nothing. Look how many of y'all guys are mathematicians, tech gurus, social media gurus, because you learn how to use social media. You learn how to make yourself a YouTube. You learn how to do some of these things. You learn how to do your graphics. It's a lot of things that you should be proud of, but you're more proud of being dysfunctional. And you're not no hero. You're not no hero, because when you do some piece of shit and you get locked up and niggas be like, free the nigga, I'd be like, for what? The nigga was a POS and he was proud of it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You known for being what? A piece of shit. And what do we need you for? You know, we need more people that's talking to the little dudes saying, yo, man, I used to be one of the wildest dudes ever. And then one day, I just didn't want to be wild no more. Like, yo, the shit was stupid. It was draining. I was tired. I was scared. I jeopardized my family. I didn't even see my kids get raised. You know, I spent, my whole life, my kids was coming to see me, because remember this, y'all got to remember, when you're in prison and your loved ones come to see you, now they're in prison too. You don't look at it like that. Because how many times we heard about y'all, but how many times we heard about niggas stealing on niggas' moms on the dance floor, on the visiting floor. Y'all knocked that nigga mother out. I cut that nigga girl. Shit be happening for real. You know what I'm saying? And we losing people. Like, how could you perpetuate something and you got a child that's in prison right now, and you got a child that's in prison right now, or your child is deceased to the system that you keep glorifying. Amir Prescott, I appreciate you said the guys in our neighborhood when I was growing up made sure things were about to go down, that us as kids was getting the house right. They would be like, yo, take y'all little ass out. Shit, remember when the old G's used to tell us go to school?
Yep.
I remember they used to take my beer and break it. You need to knock my ham sandwich out my hand and say, yo, go get turkey.
That's
You
how
know
we
what I'm
stopped
saying?
eating pork.
Yeah, that's
On
how
the
we stopped
daily.
eating pork. So it was a particular time where the older dudes was trying, although, like I said, 40 years ago, they were teens. They were young. We were single digits.
Yeah.
But if you were a teen then and you come out of prison and you did that time, or you still got that mind state you had as a teen, that means you didn't grow. So many of us are suffering from black fatigue, where we just tired of nigga shit. That's really what we saying. We
But you
tired
know
of
what
it.
it is too, though?
Go ahead.
It's getting glorified. Because
Absolutely.
those conversations get pushed in the algorithm because
Absolutely.
there's so many people that are invested in our dysfunction, whether it's the clinics, whether it's Planned Parenthood in the clinics, whether it's the privatized prisons, whether it's these
The morgue.
programs, the morgue, the 501c3s for all types of preventions that get grants. And I'm not talking about the brothers who are doing it the right
Right.
way. You know, shout out to Trife Gangsta and the likes,
Shout out to
people
G
like
Mac.
that.
Shout out to Man Dude,
Yeah,
Bad
G-Mac
Vibes,
and
all of them
everybody.
that's out there. Yeah.
Man, do our brother Man Up Inc.
Yeah,
out
Bad
in East New
Vibes.
York.
Shout out to all, especially all the,
You know
those
what I'm
all
saying?
Brooklyn dudes. So we gonna shout out the borough.
Because they know firsthand. You know what I'm saying? They're not people who read about these situations in the book. They know firsthand from being on the inside. You know what I'm saying? They know the vernacular. They know the language. They know how to get through to the young people. You know what I mean? Because some people got it on them, some people got it in them. We need those that really got it in them to really come out and try to discourage the young people. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hocus 4/5 in the
That's my
Drop Your
bro.
Flag Challenge. You know what I'm saying?
So
We
now when you
we
say the drop
applaud
the drop your flag challenge, so the drop your flag challenge was inspirational in many ways, because that's what made me get on the phone with Hassan Campbell, right? Because you got Hassan Campbell on this side supporting Hocus in this drop your flag challenge. You got me on this side supporting it, but we showing the youth that we can't get along on some YouTube shit, right? So I said, yo, you
Right.
know what, Hoke, for you, I have dialogue. Me and him need to have dialogue, because we look kind of a little weird. If we both supporting you in peace and dropping your flag, we look stupid. So it ain't about being homies, friends, hanging out and none of that shit. It's about just dead and shit sometimes, because at the end of the day, it wasn't nothing where I was a part of his inner circle.
Well,
He's a
nobody
part-
got hurt. It wasn't nothing
Right,
real.
right. It was
That's
just
why,
words.
You know,
Yeah,
in
it was
between
just
two
words. Yeah,
because and see me being on the inside, really knowing how everything transpired. Like, how did he come on? How did Hassan even come on the scene? You know what I'm saying? Through Straight Black Pride. You know what I'm saying? Through my organization at the time, I was the Northeast Regional Director. You giving him a platform and showing him how to navigate the YouTube streets, and he took off with it. You know what I'm saying? He took it and ran with it. And salute to that. I want to see dudes win.
right. Because at the end
You
of
know
the
what I'm
day, we all listen. Yo, I always tell y'all, just because you won today, that don't mean I lost.
Right.
If you won, I'm the
I want to
person.
see.
Yo,
I
I
want
be
to see all our
clapping.
brothers.
Yo, I be clapping so loud for dudes. And a lot of dudes could tell you, I call them like, yo, you went up on that one. Because at the end of the day, I'm happy.
Bro, I
Right?
saw what you did for math. I saw
Right.
what you did for math. I saw what you did for a lot of dudes.
That's an ungrateful bastard,
you know,
though. That's an ungrateful bastard, though. He's one of them.
but nonetheless, I'm talking about your character. I ain't
Right,
talking
right,
about
right,
those
right,
you,
right,
you
right.
lent the helping hand to.
Right.
Because I just want folks to know that this is not
Right.
just talk. These
Right.
are things that were actually done. We actually do things in the community. Ain't no smut on our names.
Right.
Even dudes we had beef with, real beef with. Shout out to dudes in the fort. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? In Myrtle Ave. We
Second
used to have
Clinton Hill.
issues
Yep.
with.
Yep.
If we could just put that behind us and really exist as men. You know what I'm saying? Me and Swindle talk from time to time. Me and Snap talk. We just like, yo, we glad we didn't kill each other.
Right. And I be
Back in
trying
the
to,
day.
and even when I
Be
always,
alive to really raise our children
but look
and,
though,
and enjoy the beauty of being an adult. Go
think
ahead, though.
about this, even like Fruit, one of our childhood friends. I be saying, He
Yeah,
changed a
definitely
lot.
shout out to Fruit.
No, but he changed a lot though, because it was a particular
Yeah.
time where he definitely would knock your head off your shoulders.
Yeah, they don't know the 88, 89 Fruit.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
But again,
because
we all was kids because all the
right.
LG was crazy. Shout out
Seven
to Butter.
buildings.
You know,
Butter. Rest in peace,
shout out,
Rad. Free
rest in peace,
world.
Rad.
Yeah, free world.
Word up.
Like sleep.
Shout
Shout out
out
to
to my
sleep
dude
too.
Wop.
Yeah, shout out to sleep
Or
too. You know what I'm
me
saying?
and
Yeah.
Sleep was in the same homeroom,
Right, right.
when we
Right,
went to
right,
school.
yeah, yeah.
But
But
that's what I'm saying. Like, dudes, all of us was outside just really trying to figure it out. You think even with Big,
mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like people be like, yo, you ever met anybody famous? Da da da. Like you think even with Big, all of us just sitting on the block, drinking 40, smoking blunts, really just trying to figure out what are we gonna do as adults? And many of us have made it to be adults. And a lot of dudes didn't make it. God bless Yaya and the likes. But what are we doing with this second chance that we've been blessed with? Those of us who are alive, those of us who are home, those of us who got children and grandchildren. What kind of example are we setting? Yo, my granddaughter speaks Chinese, man,
Right,
and she speaks it well. My daughter touched more countries than I did.
right.
When we was growing up, our parents wasn't taking us on vacations. We just pack up in the truck and going down south was the vacation.
Yup, South Kakalaki. That was
Word. But look at what we're able to do for our children.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just financially. Because if we don't change their mindset and let them know the world is bigger than the hood and our behaviors, because that twerking and, all that gyrating, acting stupid and sexual for our sisters,
Right.
every time you want to impress them, that shit ain't impressing nobody. And if anything, that's a huge turn off.
You know what's
Like
deep?
nobody ever told you.
Because I don't
No
even.
man wants to marry a woman who
I was
actually.
gonna say that though. You know what's deep? I don't follow no women who do that. I don't fraternize with no women who do that. And if what you have is for everybody else, then what do you have for me?
Arguments.
Exactly.
Arguments.
Or requirements. Or even requirements.
Yeah.
Think about it. How you meet somebody and they already got a requirement, a prerequisite based off of what social media said or what the last dude did, all that shit. Listen, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Because I ain't your fucking daddy. You talking about daddy stuff. And if you a grown-ass woman, you should have grown out of that anyway, though. It's not about what I could do for you or what you could do for me. It's about what we could build. That's the biggest thing. And a lot of people don't even... Go ahead.
They don't want to build.
Right.
They want ready-made everything. They come in with their kids, their bills, built-in box, because it's like, yo, I'll give you some, but my rent due in 2 weeks, and my kids need new sneakers. Like, nah,
Right.
I'm not the herb you're looking for.
Right. Because...
That's old school right there.
But listen, though, you said your kids need new sneakers. Could I go to Target and get them a pair of $15 sneakers? Does that suffice?
No, they gotta have Jordans.
This is the point I'm making. So your kid
Hey, look,
don't...
hold on. Jordans might not be good enough no more. They might need Balenciaga.
They might need some new products that came back out.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yo,
And you know what's funny? Even like trolls that come in the comments and different people who come. I understand too. I understand y'all. And it's sad that I understand y'all because everybody's not ready for every conversation. So when we was younger, we had a friend of ours named Ahmed. Y'all know him as A.A. Rashid. He used to be talking, he be talking some real shit. He just didn't want to hear that shit. Like, yo, he just didn't want to hear
that shit, Sharif.
Yeah, because he was a little bit more advanced in his Gulliver travels and his upbringing, his mother, R.I.P. to his mom Dukes. So he was privy to different information that we wasn't, right? But we didn't want to hear that. The problem that we're saying to some of y'all is that you're grown, you're of age. You cannot use being a teen, being an adolescent, being a young man as an excuse anymore, because as you grow older, you learn, you expand your knowledge base, you read more, you study more, you get around different things. If what you consume day in and day out is dysfunction, that's all you're gonna know. And I think sometimes because you never been around it, some people, you really think that shit is cute. If you work in the sewer, you don't smell shit after a while. You do know that, right? Like you don't even smell it. So what we're saying is that we was around that shit so long, so much that we could just pick out, man, that nigga ain't really no drug dealer. That nigga pussy. He just rapping. Niggas would have robbed you. This would have happened. And this is the part of the culture that I don't like, because I think people are just perpetuating an image because that's what they think we want. And we telling you, yo, we don't want that. Just like we could tell the ladies, we don't want y'all twerking. We don't want y'all do this shit. The ladies should be telling the men, we don't want gangster niggas. We don't want these type of dudes. We don't want hustlers. We don't want drug dealers. It's cool to have a 9 to 5. It's cool to earn $75,000 in a year. It's cool to earn $50,000 and you put that with my 30, we got 80. It's cool to say that things, because a lot of times we be hard on the women, but we need to start telling these dudes, yo, you need to stop fronting, because somebody gonna go upside your goddamn head. And that's why dudes stay getting popped out in the streets. And we be like, free niggas. And it's like, yo, free that nigga for what? Or yo, rest in peace for what? Yo, that nigga was asking to die. What's gonna come from it? It ain't like he was on his job. He was, driving the train or riding the bus and somebody violated. The nigga was in the place where that type of shit happens. When you in the battlefield, and you get lost in the battle,
that's it.
That's it. You was around a bunch of POSs. Everybody was, gunning for the bullshit. And then give me one grave that was better than the other. Yo, the cemetery is filled with a bunch of real niggas and gangsters. The same, that nigga buried over there, and them niggas could have been ops. The jail just filled with. This is what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, being a real nigga you're not gonna get a special grave. What, you got a mausoleum? What, you got some doves sent off, or you had a horse and drawn carriage? Nigga, you're dead. Niggas be like, yo, he look good, right? Nah, the nigga look dead. There's no such thing as a good-looking corpse. I don't care what nobody say. Yo, he look good, right? Nah, the nigga look dead.
Yeah, it's just words of comfort, man.
But I'm just saying the mentality. The mentality is that we started taking shit that's fucked up and just making it cool. Yo, they sent them off nice, right? I wish they didn't have to send them off. Yeah. But we don't think about that, though. We'll be like, yo, they sent them off. They sent them off good. Nah, yo, they had good food. We had a good drink. That's the shit that got them killed in the first place. That smoking, drinking, party bullshit and the mentality. You know what I'm saying? There's a saying, the working man is a sucker. I don't agree. The sucker. Who says that, right?
And I said, but who says that? And what I want to say, right, what I was going to say real quick, salute to all the OGs that really did a 180. Because I see a lot of the real ones doing transit right now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Getting that money, because transit got money and benefits.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
They get their jibs fixed.
Good overtime. Yo, get your jibs fixed. All that stuff that you can't get on the block. But ain't nobody telling nobody that. And again, I ain't knocking nobody for getting their money, how they get it. When I was out there, I had to figure it out. That's what brought me to where we are today. And that was part of my journey. And of course, when I was outside, I wasn't the first one outside. Even when I'm outside walking up and down, putting them, I always salute the OGs who was out there before me. I ain't the first one. You know what I'm saying?
But look at this though, Tad. But think about how we got tricked when we was younger. The streets did trick us.
It has to be a progression in the mentality.
And we can't be tricking the youth the way we got tricked. Because think about this. We was always thought, yo, nigga got on that Burger King shit. We didn't know that you could start in Burger King and become a manager of Burger King and make 6 figures or owner. We didn't know that. We thought you just a nigga on fries.
So we know somebody who did it at Taco Bell.
Exactly.
Just rose the ranks.
Word. We just knew that, yo, this nigga in Target playing. You know what I'm saying? Yo, this nigga work at Target. Yo, Target work. We didn't know that you could become a head buyer or a manager. We didn't know that. We always got tricked into the legitimate way of living wasn't shit. We always got tricked. Yo, nigga got a job. Yo, remember in Strap, you still doing this bicycle shit? What happened when he didn't do the bicycle shit? Nigga got jammed up and nigga went to jail.
Yeah.
You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Again, this is the mindset and the bad habits, because you think about it, back then we all had hoop dreams or music dreams.
Right.
Hoop dreams or music dreams. You know, you were one of the fortunate ones to really stick with your dreams and not have to get a 9 to 5. People like me, I had to tap out. I had a family to feed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to get a gig or start, you know, or the kids starve. Because remember, I was still outside,
Because you tried
acting
all
like
the
I didn't have
hustling
people to
shit.
go home to.
Yeah, you
Yeah, that's
tried
what
all
I'm
the
saying.
hustling. Amir Prescott
Hustle on
said
the
something.
job.
Amir Prescott said something
Mhm.
profound, and he said, we also have to address the PTSD in our neighborhoods. We became immune to things we've seen
Yes.
growing up. And then that's what I said earlier. Some niggas need medication. Some niggas need
Yeah.
to, we normalize shit. That's like, think about when we was younger. And I really can't say this, but I'm going to say it. But remember when dudes thought it was cool, it was a promiscuous young lady who we didn't know that might have had some type of trauma in their life, and dudes is running choo-choos on chicks and all that shit and thinking it was
We ain't know
cute.
no better.
Yeah, you
You
didn't
know,
know no
that's,
better.
we told that was one of our biggest regrets as
Right,
men.
right. You know what I'm saying?
And
Although
especially me having daughters.
I ain't gonna front, I never partook. I never, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing I can say I ain't got on my jacket. I ain't never been a part of no choo-choo.
But again, poverty,
Right.
miseducation, misinformation,
Mental illness,
lack of
trauma.
guidance. Because you think the adults in our house had to work.
Right.
You think we pretty much raised ourselves. Y'all go to school. Y'all heard me go to school. You know, they went to work before we left the house. So
Think
whether we went to school or not was our choice.
how old was I when y'all came to the crib and I was cooking? Y'all was like, you could use the stove. I was probably like 8.
About 9.
Yeah, I was like 8 or 9. Yeah,
years old.
yeah, because this is when we first moved. You're like, yo, you could use the stove. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the crib
I never
baking
kid, you was
chicken.
making barbecue chicken.
I was baking
You
chicken,
smelling
barbecue
good.
chicken. He like, you could use the stove, and this is the stove where you had to light the
had to light
paper
it,
and go
take the
under there.
paper,
Yeah, I was
under the
already 8
fire.
years old making barbecue chicken in the oven. You know what I'm saying? And him and my cousin Sue was like, yo, you could use a stove. I'm like, yeah, I'm making pot of rice too. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Dolo.
by myself. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it was a lot of shit that we did that we thought was cute. You know what I'm saying? And it really, really wasn't. Hellbent says, thank you guys for speaking on this. Y'all the only ones that's getting exhausting. Kids don't got nothing to look up to. Please keep this powerful message up. I thank you for receiving it. Thank you for receiving it. And thank you. And if you hit the like and the share, it's going to get to more people. Me and Taz suffer from something else too, that's a part of the PTSD. And it's called survivor's remorse. Because a lot of our childhood friends are not here no more. And they none of them passed away from ailments. Except I think Kimi is the only one who passed away from ailments.
Right.
Everybody else passed away from senseless violence. And when you see your man in a casket, that's the realest shit. And I never got numb to that to where I thought it was normal. That's the only thing about me that I never thought it was normal.
I got numb to that early.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
I couldn't cry after a while. Like, yo, because this is all we doing. We going to funerals.
Right.
I think every summer it was like, yo, who gonna get it this summer?
Jigga JTV, I appreciate you. But see, remember, Tad, we started growing early. Even when we were younger, we started wising up because we was like, yo, we not going to Juve. We not going to the West Indian Day Parade. We ain't going outside for Halloween. We ain't going outside for New Year's. And Easter's a dub unless you taking the kids somewhere. Because we did it and we knew the oppression and the trauma and the bullshit that came with it. But all we could do is people who've been through it is spread the word. This is what we doing now. So when you look at some of these guys on YouTube and they try to tell you what I am and what I ain't, please don't listen to them.
But you know what, Doug? That's why I always questioned a lot of these dudes.
Right.
Like we was talking about before too. Female attention, always got that. Like, so if you're impressed with that right now, you're a late bloomer. Talking about how tough you are, then you wasn't outside because we seen the biggest and baddest before we got our general stripes get their head knocked off. So we was clear that anybody could get it. You know what I'm saying? Every dude wasn't scared of us. Every hood didn't care about who we was back on Fulton Street.
Right.
That's Fulton. You on Myrtle. You on Franklin. You on, you know what I'm saying?
Lafayette, yeah.
This ain't
Picking.
your hood.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, on Pickens. We had beef with Fort Green dudes. We had to go shop at Simon's in Brownsville.
Right. We had to
We
go
rather took our chance with
to the
Grammy
worst
at
to a worse
Brownsville
neighborhood. Yeah.
than run into dudes down at the Albee Square Mall in Fort Green. Because again, we were kids, but our parents didn't take us shopping. Get the money, y'all go get what y'all gonna get. And then, we did our 1-2s and put some extra money on it. And the only time we really went downtown heavy like that is if we deep like that and had the weapons on us.
Right.
But is that any way for a young person to live?
Right.
That's why we is forced to grow up so fast. You know what I'm saying? You had, I'm gonna tell you, the local Brooklyn crews. You had us on Fulton Street. We was on Fulton, from Fulton and Washington to Atlantic Terminals. You know what I'm saying? Then you had Big Fruit in them. Shout out to Big Fruit. You had them dudes over in LG over there. And right around the corner, you had Grand and Clifton dudes. At one point, everybody's together, but then they
They
wasn't. Then you
broke
got
apart.
Grand and Putnam. You know what I'm saying? When you got Grand down in Irving, that was like one
One
crew.
crew.
Plus Clausen and Levis over
Yep.
there. Then you got N.A. Rock, dudes from up and down Gates Avenue. You know what I'm saying? From Nostrand and Gates. You know what I'm saying? Like there were so many groups of young people being active. Yeah, because Nostrand and Gates is Mano end. You know what I'm saying? My little brother from right there. So I used to be over there. I went to 258 with a lot of dudes from each hood. You know what I'm saying?
And the
So
style.
I'm
And I
not
went to
fronting about
113 with the Fort Green dudes and the Clinton
Fort
Hill
Green,
dudes.
Farragut.
Fort
Yeah.
Green, Farragut, and Clinton Hill dudes. So I went to
And everybody
113.
didn't always get along at one point.
Right,
And
right.
what I want to say real quick, because this is about the young people, not about us, because sometimes people be questioning resumes, like wondering if dudes was really outside. Like, dude, we talking about 88, 89, 90, 91, 90. Yo, by 93, we was chilling. We was trying to chill, like things were still active outside. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of dudes was locked up in the early 90s, and a lot of our homies was getting killed. And we would still in our late teens, early 20s, making the decision that it got to be something better than this. That this can't be going on year after year after year. You turn on your TV, you watching other families who don't even deal with this kind of stuff. You go to other places, you go like even if you go down south or you go to Connecticut, even if you go out of town to hustle, you see certain people are not dealing with that mind state that we got. You know what I'm saying? That everybody's out to get you, so you got to get everybody and everything. And this is the perspective that shaped what we believe to be our reality. But once we shape our perspective, our reality will change. And I can't impress that on people enough, because when we were young, we really didn't care whether we lived or died. We died, we died. That's
Right.
it. We all knew what we signing up for. But when I became a parent and I had children, I started to realize the shit I was putting my parents through. It ain't like dudes ain't come and clap up the crib. My mom's in the bed sleeping like, what the hell is that? She hear the banging. Whole bang. Like, you go in the hall, you smell the gun smoke. This is reality. I could have lost my life on so many occasions. So I know I'm blessed. Back to your question, dog, when people think I'm cursed, say, yo, we curse. No, I'm blessed,
What
because not only am I here, I
what
get to
did your
see my
mother tell
children
you
grow up.
about burying you?
Oh, yeah. One time I asked her, I said, Ma, how did you do it with me? Because my kids drive me crazy and they not a piece of as bad as I was. And she said, Tad, when a mother got a son like you, she bury him twice. Once in her mind and once in reality. She said, I was just waiting for that phone call. And I was like, damn, that's deep. That she was really just waiting to hear, because I was wild. I was ignorant. I was dumb. I was young. But the sad part is that I did know better. I know better. I just chose not to, because I'm trying to fit in with what's going on with the other little dudes in the hood. Oh, this project is popping. They ain't shit. Later for them. We live over here. What? And like Nas said, I gave you power. I make you buck wild. First time you get your hands on one of them things, boy, you feel invincible. You in the mirror playing. You clicking it at your man's. He like, don't mark me. Don't
Word,
click
word,
that
word.
at
Yo,
me. Don't
stop
mark
playing.
me.
Yeah, don't mark me.
Don't mark me. You know what I'm saying? But
It's
that's what we was doing, because we was young and dumb. And I see, and pass the mic back, dog, but I just want to say this, because we can't express it enough. Grown men older than us, 50s, 60s, still arguing about shit that don't matter. Internet posts, YouTube videos. And ain't nobody touched your children, nobody disrespected your mother, nobody messed up your money. Really arguing over YouTube shit instead of saying, yo, how could we collaborate? Yo, let's bum rush this shit. Yo, because everybody's eating off our culture but us.
Our
And all
dysfunction.
we doing is
Our
we fueling the
dysfunction.
fire
Yo, you
of
know
the
you know
smoke.
what's deep about what you said, right? Because what does a reputation on YouTube mean? Eventually everybody's gonna turn on you. So you're
Yeah.
gonna get your run. And like I said earlier, and I gotta reiterate this: when you really from something and you a part of something, you partook in something, the last thing you want to do is still see that shit later on in life. So for the new jacks, the newcomers, the people who's not from the inner city, the people who never been in New York, never rode the subway, who don't know anything about food stamps and welfare and oppression and dog shit on the floor or stray dogs and all that shit that we had to grow up with, it's not cute, and that's why I don't glorify it. Cause I got some stories for y'all, but it's not
We
gonna
got
be
some-
one. It's not gonna be one to grow on, unless I'm speaking it from the point of prevention. That's why I don't like certain rappers. That's why I don't like certain content, because I really am a part of from that shit. And again, in my opinion, my pops ain't here. A lot of people not here. I watched some of the strongest black men that I know in my life succumb to substance abuse. So I don't think this shit is cool or cute. I watched my best friend get shot in the head and dead. So I don't think this shit is cute. And I often wonder how different my life would be if they was here in good spirits and good health. And that's the stuff that I need to think about. So I'm not going to use that excuse. Yo, Juicy got killed in 93 and I'm not going to use that. I got to just honor their memory, right? I got to honor their memory and remember our conversations, because we talked about the future. We talked about what we wanted for ourselves for the future. The future is now. So why I'm gonna revisit the past of the oppression and the trauma and the fucked up things that happened and lived there? I always tell people, history is cool to go, but you can't stay there. You can revisit history, but you can't stay there. You live right now. You live today, and you prepare for the future. What you do today could shape tomorrow. So I don't have time to say this happened and this happened and this why, this, that, and the third. Nah, we was talking about the future. We was talking about what we wanted to do. We was talking about cars that I really drive now. You know what I'm saying? We talking about places that we wanted to live that I really live now. We was talking about, remember when we was little, Juicy had Gucci and Benetton and all that shit. He's like 12 years old with all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So he had all that. He had his parents. He came from an African-centered crib. He came from that. But one thing that hit him was the fucking streets.
And dog, I want to say real quick, speaking on that, because this is where I was gonna go with it, right? Hold hold on one second. Yeah. You hear me, right, dog?
I hear you.
All right. Yeah, because now Gutter was just calling me too. It knocked the thing off. But as we talk about Juicy, somebody who had it, somebody whose family was financially sound, we talk about the influence in the environment. Because I look at people right now who will look at our message and say, man, them niggas talking that shit. These young dudes gonna do what they want to do, man. We did the same shit. We was doing the same shit. Yeah, but does it make it right? Part one. Part two, where are they learning this from? Where are they picking this up from? And that's what we're saying. If we really want to be impactful in our community, we have to change the conversation and the bad habits and the behavior that we display. We have to be mindful. We have to be more self-aware on how we present out here in the world, because everybody's watching us, particularly our children. And if we showing them this is what manhood is, then we're doing them a disservice, because our idea of manhood in the hood, in our little circle, is the dysfunction. It's how much work can you move in the community, and how much pain can you cause in the community. And this is the dysfunction we're talking about,
Right.
that's being passed on from generation to generation. So who's going to be the black men to break that? Those who came home from doing 10, 15, 20, 30 years, what's going to be your contribution to society to show that, yo, I'm a reformed man. I went in as a child and I came back out as a man. And as a man, we take responsibility for everything, things we've done right and things we've done wrong.
And
And we
accountability.
atone for it.
And accountability.
Definitely.
Because that's
Definitely.
one word that a lot of dudes run from, accountability.
Yeah.
You're always playing the blame game. Amir Prescott said, I also think us growing up with grandparents helped us having certain morals. The great grandparents be 45 now hanging outside. Yo, you absolutely right. But see, this is something that I was having a conversation earlier. Shit, your grandmother might only been in her 20s. You didn't realize that. You understand what I'm saying? But we did have something called home training. And it was also things that was implemented like home economics, phys ed, sex ed. Some of the schooling and education was doing that and teaching kids different things too. You know what I'm saying? So once they remove certain programs, or we got these devices, we got all these distractions. So I don't use these as for distractions. I use these to get some money. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between me and other people. But the children are the best part of you. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing, I don't know if the children in our family worship us. Like, worship. Like, we like the greatest thing in the world to them because we exude strong black manhood. Never see us upset. Never see us cursing. Never see us out of pocket. Just always teaching them, talking them, loving on them, making sure they eat, making sure they get everything that we never had, and showing them different things that we didn't have. We don't pass, oh, when I was little, I didn't get this and I didn't get that. But that's why Uncle worked so hard, so you could get that. You got E's today?
Minister to society? What he said, minister to society?
Right.
Get a little nigga a drink.
Word. We don't do that. You got all E's today? Oh, wow. Yo, you know what? You got E's. I'm going to send you your Robux. You understand what I'm saying? Because the kids be always happy to tell me how good they did in school. I got a satisfactory today because they know, listen, you're not doing good in school. You're not listening to your mother. You didn't brush your teeth. Nah, I ain't giving you nothing. So your mother got to tell me you got a good report. You understand what I'm saying? And we do the reward system with a lot of them. And they're going to be mischievous. They're going to do different things because we did it as kids too. But at the same time, we got to understand they had the child mentality. They got a child mentality and a child brain. The problem is when you 60 with that damn brain and you saying, we still got to do, yo, hold on. Like when dudes be saying, we need leaders. What about the elders? Nigga, you 60. You the elder. You 60 years old. Tad told me maybe 10 years ago, yo, we the elders now. And I was like, damn, I don't think I'm ready to embrace that. But the more and more that I thought about it, I said, yo, because you got an outlet, you got a responsibility. You got to carry it a certain way. You got to do certain things because your voice is powerful. Now, you could use your voice to party and bullshit and have some fun, because at the same time, we do need balance, right? Anton, I thank you for subscribing. We do need balance, and we know how to pick and choose, but, yo, we had a critical time right now. Motherfuckers getting their stamps cut off, everybody fear-mongering, everybody talking about, it's like I just never seen a time where it's just so much ungrateful selfishness and so many men that act like bitches. What's wrong with y'all? It's a lot of men, and you think because you'll knock somebody out or you'll let the weaponry go or you this or that or you'll type real hard, that's what make you a man. Nah, that's not what make you a man. It's how you resolve shit and how you carry yourself. And a lot of dudes, what happened?
Dog, real quick.
Go ahead.
You said you could knock somebody out. Rest in peace, Kimbo Slice.
Right.
I remember the first time you showed me a video of him.
Yeah. So would you fight him?
I like to throw hands too.
Right.
Dog said, yo, Tad, I want to show you something. You said, you'll fight him?
Yeah.
That's what I said, right?
Right.
That's what I got the thing for.
Word.
Dudes like him. Right. I'm not fighting Kimbo Slice.
This is what I'm saying. But
so you can think you tough all you want. You think you gonna knock me? Yeah, all right. Some dudes I fight. If we in the same weight class, then let's go. I even give you a little hype, but Kimbo Slice was something different. Rest in peace to him. But to your point, dog, about dudes thinking they just gonna Debo their way through life and that old school mentality. Because brains beat brawn all the time. But if you think you're brawn, because that worked, you know what I'm saying, when you was locked up, man, everybody really respect the dude that uses his mind.
What my man
And this
38
is
Special said, a powerful mind could build an empire with somebody else's hands. I was like, I always make him say that. Yo, what you say? A powerful mind can build an empire with somebody else's hands.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But I was gonna say before I forget this too, what we going through right now in our community, just to build off what you just put down, is that we going through a detox phase right now. So that's why this conversation is important. You know what I'm saying? That's what the mayor said. The power of the power of the grandparents and the great grandparents. I always give it up to our grandparents. You know what I'm saying? To grandma, to Umi, my grandmother Bernice. You know what I'm saying? All the grandparents that invested in us, that showed us love, because they remember a world when black folks had to stick together. Remember,
Granny too.
civil
Granny. Rest in peace to Granny.
Can't forget Granny. Word. Rest in peace, Granny. You know what I'm saying? What's her last name?
Perryman. Dorothy Perryman.
We were remiss if we don't big up Granny. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But we had elders in our development. Women though. Black women. This is why you be hard pressed to find us disrespecting black women, because they help make us into the men we are, as well as the men who were in our life. But it was a community effort to raise us as children, not just mommy and daddy and auntie and uncle. We were raised by a village, so we were instilled with a particular set of value systems. That's why even coming up, when we was coming up, all the kids came to hang with us because we had siblings and we were cousins that were closest siblings. So if you wanted to know where all the kids was, just come to our crib. There's a bunch of us in
come
the
to
house.
the block.
So the kids would come to the block, play with us. We had Noon and Blacko downstairs or upstairs, depending on what floor we lived on at the time. Those are our other brothers.
Right.
So we were raised in a community. And right now, it's like people don't want to talk to the children. People don't want to love on the children and show them like, yo, you better than this. There's times I spoke to children on the train and always got through because how my approach was.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You was talking to them, not at them.
Yeah.
Remember C's was y'all don't know, little C's was a badass little kid. He was never bad in that, but C's was always the youngest. And C's would be in the crib. I'm gonna tell this. Him and Nino, one time, we come in the room, we playing hooky. We come in the room. Remember what C's was in the room doing? I ain't gonna do him like that. But C's was like 11, right? Like 11 or 12. Yeah. Like, yo, Wani, what the hell you in here doing? Yeah. C's was always around. So I was happy that Big did snatch him up, because I don't know if C's would be alive right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's a fact.
Yeah, but C's, but little C's was there. C's would just roam around the hood. Him and Nino, which is Nene, they were. But see, at the same time, if we seen C's or Nino, something happened to them, you wasn't running past Waverly, getting away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because we ran the neighborhood. Yeah, we had our different sides, our different crews. But if you was an outsider, we was Wall 1. You was not getting off of Fulton Street. You understand what I'm saying? You was not getting off of Fulton Street. If you ran towards St. James, get him, grab him. Somebody was going to kick trip you. You know what I'm saying? It just was what it was. And then when you hit that ground, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. Or the time, shout out to K-Mel. Remember they was we looking out the window? What happened? Yo, some niggas at Sterling try to front. Well, we coming too. So it was about 7 of them. By the time they get to Sterling, it's 17 of them.
Sterling High School, not Sterling Place.
Sterling High School was like a 600 school. Yeah. So again,
last alternative.
That was the neighborhood. So that's why Big used to come to the crib so much and work on music. That's why Little Kim came to the crib, because it was a community of us. And although when we went to our respective places, we wouldn't hang together, but the music brought us together. And I'm segueing into that now because a lot of y'all youth do music. A lot of you older dudes want to direct the youth to do music, but y'all don't be knowing what the fuck y'all doing or what y'all talking about. a lot of times too, because all you got to do is not all you got to do. There is not going to be too many more Hove stories, 50 stories, or too many dip sets or anything like that. Nah, it's a new way. The computer, the social media and all that. And a lot of y'all older dudes use it for all the wrong things. And you won't hire somebody who know what they doing. You know, so it's a lot of misinformation, a lot of regurgitated information. And that's why a lot of times things are not going through the way they're supposed to. And many people are using social media for all the wrong things. You know, you got perception and you got reality. You got people who are twisted. You got people who are messed up and they want to be on social media acting like it's all good. Nah, it's okay to do the laundry on social media. It's okay, yo, I'm about to take this car for a wash, or I'm walking my dog, or yo, I'm reading to the kids before they go to sleep. Many of you don't even read to your children no more. The first books you ever seen or heard got read to you. The TV.
Some of y'all don't know how to read.
Some of y'all don't. Look, the TV, we watch TV, but there was a time, cut that TV off, cut that game off, take your ass to bed, take a nap. Now y'all got devices that's raising your children. Your children are doing things that you don't even know about because you too busy doing some fuck shit. You too busy doing things you ain't got no business doing. So if you got devices that is access to any and everything, because nothing is really childproof unless you childproof the device, and y'all not even doing that. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all not even doing that because look what you doing on there. So 20 years from now, if you find if old pictures pop up, no, let's say you at the age you at now, and then you look at 30 years ago, your mom's was on there busting it open. How would you really feel? How would you really feel? Or your pops was always outside drunk, because the shit that we perpetuate and we think is cool is really not. Because it was a particular time where you was called a wino and a custy. So now that you think that you doing designer drugs and that everybody is doing it, you still a custy and a wino. If you get bent every night, what's the difference between you and the guy that's standing on the corner drinking Wild Eye? Because you still popping shit. You still getting into fights. You still getting into domestic situations. You still in the hood getting knocked out every night. You still drinking beers. You just like the winos. If you smoking reefer every night and popping perks and pills, then you a custy. It's no different than smoking crack every day. It's just a different drug. It used to be for partying, but how do you party every night if you got responsibilities? If your baby's got to get their clothes on, you got to run their bath, you got to make sure they wash behind their ears, you got to feed them, you got to get them ready for school. How are you high and drunk every day? And how are you not home unless you at work? How you out bullshitting somewhere? How you in the lounge? How you in the club? How do you leave your beautiful wife? Because all y'all got bad chicks, right? How you leave your beautiful wife and your beautiful family to go to the hood to hang around a bunch of niggas? Go ahead, Tad.
Nah, that's something to think about. That's really something to think about. But I mean, those are thought-provoking questions we really got to sit down and ask ourselves, you know. And I was joking about people not being able to read, but if you can't read, it's not a laughing matter, but this would be the perfect time to learn how to read. See, the thing is, our embarrassment for things we can't do prevent us from learning how to do it because we don't want to acknowledge that we don't know how to read.
And shame
So
makes you
because we don't
violent.
want to
And
acknowledge,
shame makes you violent.
yeah,
Getting teased and being
yeah,
shamed makes you violent. Go ahead, though.
yeah, yeah. And because of that shame, we don't want to learn it because we don't want nobody to see us practicing, trying it. You know what I'm saying? Look, me and C Gutter got a podcast, the OG Wisdom Podcast. We started that a little over a year ago, though it's been in the works for years, you know, just trying to figure it out. You know, we could be discouraged because we don't have the following Doggy has, but nonetheless, we still gonna push forward because that's the only way you're gonna get better. And that's with anything in life. You know, things are always hard when you don't know how to do it. But once you learn how to do something and you become proficient at it, there it go. You know what I mean?
Yo, I
So
was
we really
300
got to,
pounds on the bike. I bought my bike from Target. I rode it back. When I rode the bike
right.
back from Target, niggas was laughing at me. Fucking riding the bike.
I was about to say, I
Okay.
remember people was teasing me that
Yep.
I
Okay.
just decided I was gonna lose weight. Cause remember, I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. Dudes was like, man, I ain't doing that. I ain't eating this. I ain't eating that. But then a year later, when I come outside for the summer, they like, damn, son, what you do? I said, every exercise that I hate.
Right.
You have to discipline yourself and stop listening to the crowd. You have to listen to your inner voice. You got to have internal dialogue with yourself and decide what do you want to do with your life. I read something today, right, dog? And it was talking
Mm-hmm.
about the purpose of life. It's a book I read every day, right? And it's daily meditations. But they say the thing in life is to live up to your fullest potential. It's three things: live up to your fullest potential, always honor the creator in damn near everything you do, and serve others. That should be your purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, how simple is that? Because three is the magic number. Live up to your fullest potential. You know where you weak at and where you want to be strong. So work in those places. Work on those things. Get your skill sets up. Like we in the digital age, like there's nothing hidden from us no more. Before we had Google, now we got Chat GPT, we got Perplexity, we got Claude AI, we got all of these AI things that can just show us everything, answer almost any question we have. But the real answers lie within us. So we have to ask ourselves particular questions. Like, one, what do we really want out of life? Like, what do we want? Do we want money? And if we want money, what do we want it for?
And
To
let me
stun on people?
interject. Let me because
Yeah, dog.
this is the main thing. Y'all niggas gotta stop operating from the point of defeat. That's the yo. I'm telling you, that's the problem. When you say you can't do something, you know what you just told yourself. You told you that. I didn't say you can't do it. You said you can't do it. So I ain't gotta discourage you. You discourage you. I don't like, so me, I remember when I said, yo, Tad, I ain't doing the Forbes shit no more. I'm gonna do my own thing. You was like, well, I ain't gonna tell him what you told me to do. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. And you was like, because I said, no, I know what I could do. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I did for this shit, and I did for this bum ass nigga. I know what I could do for myself. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I just want y'all to know, new ventures, new ideas are scary as hell. But on the other side of fear is opportunity and
And
success.
everything you want. Yeah.
On the
Everything.
other side of fear. So that's why we say to y'all, yo, I ain't scared of shit. I ain't scared of nothing because I done faced it. I think I done seen the devil in.
But that's what I was about to say,
Yeah,
dog.
go ahead.
I'm glad you hit that because the thing is, it is fear that's stopping us. A lot of times we don't pursue what we want. It's a fear, and we got to find out what is that fear. That fear of failure? Is it a fear of success? Is it a fear of how people receive us? In this thing I read today too, it said if God gave you an idea, He also gave you the support system for it. You just got to do your part and take action. That's all it is. Remember, we first started OG Wisdom Podcast years ago. It was the challenges was everybody's schedule coordinating, whether it was the venue, whether it was the camera people, whether it was the sound people, whether it was me and Gutter's schedule. That's 5 different variables on making it work. And everybody's schedule didn't always gel. And before you know it, 1 year went by, then 2 years went by. And around the third year, I said, yo, we just got to get this thing up. You know what?
And I remember I kept saying to you,
Just
yo,
get
stop talking to me about it. Yo, just do it.
Yeah,
Just do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Just do it.
I'm like,
Whatever happened, gonna happen. Now, because you, like I said, the one advantage that you might have had over people is you had me, but you still had to execute. So I
Right.
walk you through some of the things, you know what I'm saying? And that's your, people do have a
Right.
foundation that they have, but a lot of times dudes don't know how to gel because dudes don't know how to take instruction too. Sometimes you're not the big man in this situation. Sometimes you gotta shut the
And you got to
fuck up.
humble yourself.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Gotta
You can't
humble
say,
yourself.
well, he's doing it. You don't know. You
What it
do not
takes.
what it takes. Like, so my thing is this. I know a lot of people who operate from defeat. And I know a lot of people who always try to tell me what I can't do or what I'm not. And I'm like, Okay, that's what you think. But I know what I'm gonna do, and I know what I can do, and I know what's happening. If I fell 9 times, I got up 10. If I fell 9 times, I got up 10. Because I didn't come this far to lay down and be like, yo, you know, this ain't gonna happen, that ain't gonna happen. Yo, man, it's over for me. And it's times, yo, every day of my life, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Every day of my life, I say, I don't wanna do this no more. I don't wanna do that no more. Sometimes I don't want to go live. Sometimes I don't want to do videos. Sometimes I don't want to edit. Sometimes I don't want to do all that shit. I've been doing it for 19 years. Sometimes I say I don't want to do it. But you know what? But when I think about the kids, the little kids in our family that say, uncle's a big YouTuber or my godfather's a YouTuber, he this, that, and the third, I say, damn. Because I want y'all to know too, a lot of times people don't be inspired because they don't hear inspirational words. A lot of times all people tell me is what I ain't. I never said I was any of that. But you should quit. Go get a job. Go get a job and be just like you, right? You fucking miserable. You're miserable. But you want me to be like you when you should say to me, yo, bro, how you do this? So some of the people who is consulting with me about YouTube, who paid consultations, some of the people who pay me for promo for stuff or pay me for stuff, I respect y'all because at least y'all saying, yo, I really want to do this. Help me get my shit off the ground. And matter of fact, it's the perfect time to go into the commercial. Listen, man, have you heard about my $100 promo deal? If you didn't, let me give you some details really, really quick. First and foremost, the promotion will be done on Doggie Diamonds TV and the Interlude TV. That's the Insta stories, the YouTube community, the threads, the Facebook, and the Twitter accounts. I could promote whatever you need. But as a reminder, this is for serious inquiries only. Must be Cash App ready. I can help you bring more awareness to your products. Contact me at Doggie Diamonds on Instagram. And that's for your YouTube. That's for your t-shirts. That's for your music. That's for anything. Hit me up. What you was going to say, Tad?
Nah, I was laughing when you said sometimes I don't want to do this shit because I did a whole bunch of shit I didn't want to do today.
Right.
But what I remember is that not that I got to do it, that I get to do it.
Right.
Changed my mindset. I didn't want to go to the gym this morning.
Right.
My alarm went off at 4:30 and I cut it right off. But I ended up going to the gym like 9:30 this morning. You know, it was definitely later than 5 o'clock.
Right. But you got it done.
But I still winning it. Still winning it. Got it done. Got a good sweat. And I was glad that I did it. But then I had to put away all the summer clothes, break out the winter clothes, pull the AC out the window. Didn't want to do it, but I had to. And not that I have to, but I get to. Because I can remember there were times when I was just in the cell.
Right. Like
how I'm gonna get out of here.
Or the worst cell you could be in is the prisoner of your own mind.
Yeah.
When you are free and you are defeated.
At least physically free.
Yeah, physically free, but you're not mentally free. Right. But see, this is why I keep saying to people, stop pushing your fears on people. Stop pushing your doubt on people. I surround myself with people who say, nah, you could do this, we could do this. I called Tad one day, and I ain't going to even talk about the other bozo that was around me, but I called Tad one day, and I was like, yo, I want to get this car for my birthday. Yo, what you told me?
I said, yo, I said, get it. I was like, yo, get it. And they talked about because in fact, your birthday was coming. We just took a big loss.
Right.
Lost 3 important people in our family. I said, yo, if it didn't teach us nothing else, that life is short. I said, think how many times we wanted to do something and we had the opportunity and chose not to. Life is not promised. You got the opportunity, do it. You talk about what you want when you're a kid and you finally get the chance and you don't do it. And that's what it is. That's why you get to do these things. The decisions you can make could really turn your next year around. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, who was it? Prince said it takes a lifetime to become an overnight success.
Right.
We see successful people, but we don't see them practicing. We don't see the nights they get discouraged. We don't see them crying. We don't see them shooting in the gym. We don't see all the missed shots they took, but they keep going at it, regardless of who's discouraging them. Sometimes it's people we love discouraging us from our goals, and it's not from a place of hate. Sometimes they love us so much they don't want to see us disappointed.
Yo,
So they'll try
but
to
think
say,
about
"Oh,
this. I
don't do that.
called
Play it
you.
safe."
I said my birthday coming up. I want to reward myself for my birthday. I want to get this. He was like, get that shit. Shit, you deserve it. Yo, look at all you do. Another nigga said, that ain't gonna validate you. Fuck is you talking about? This is what I'm saying, because I gotta say that because people gotta understand this side and this side. Now, one nigga know me because we related. One nigga know me a little bit, but the nigga's a piece of shit at the same time. So I got to listen to the conversations and say, hold on, why would you say that? I'm not looking for fucking validation. I just want a fucking new car that I deserve.
But from his paradigm, it's all about validation.
Exactly.
Because see, you bought a luxury vehicle. One that people are like, oh, well, why would you spend all your money? But see, that's coming from a place of lack. Because people think when you buy something expensive or luxury, it's for a status, and it's not for status. A lot of times you're paying for quality.
Exactly.
But see, when you got a lack mindset and you don't have an appreciation for shit, you don't know quality if it's smacking you in your face.
And even if you had quality, you lost it. So I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to listen to the loser. You didn't value shit, or you made poor decisions. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of us black men, black women, we make very, very poor decisions. And when you accountable for your poor decisions, that's how you big up again. That's how if you fell 9, you could get up 10. You say, you know what? I ain't gonna do that shit again. Just like when you was little, you might stick that, you might have licked that battery. Remember, we all licked the 9-volt battery.
That 9-volt
battery. Shit wasn't too kind to you. You ain't lick it again. This is the point I'm making. But we seeing people lick the battery all over and over again, and they trying to tell people what to do in life. These are the people that you got to stay away from. These are the people in YouTube that you got to stay away from. These are the people that you shouldn't be listening to. And they might say something that's profound, but the broke clock is right twice a day. What about the other 22 hours? You understand what I'm saying? What about the other 22 hours? So this is what I'm saying, and I always say this to y'all every night. Y'all don't listen to niggas. I only listen to people who I know love me. I don't listen to niggas. Nope, I don't listen to niggas. I call Tad, I call Poe. I go as people that I call my brother, rest in peace, I used to call him. I don't listen to too many people because why you say that to me? Why are you looking at it like that? Nah, that's not coming from a place of love. That's coming from a place where, I don't know, it feels a little weird. You understand what I'm saying? When anything that Tad ever wanted to do, especially in this digital space, I said, nah, go ahead, do that shit. You know I'm going to show you. You know I'm going to help you. Right. But he still has to execute. This nigga was hyped when he made his first thumbnail. He's like, yo, check my thumbnail. Nigga's like, yo, check my thumbnail.
Funny, dog? Because people don't realize
how hard this shit is.
I mean, you know how to do it because this has always been, entertainment and music has always been your thing. I was right there when everybody was like, yo, get a job. But for me, somebody who's not computer savvy, just learning all the technical stuff that goes into it. It's not just turn your phone on and talk shit. Those people do it and it's hit or miss. Consistency is the key. But to do the thumbnail, as opposed to asking someone to do it.
He's like, yo, check my thumbnail. What you think?
Like, check it out. Let me know. Is it good? Is it Gucci?
Nah, it's good. You did good. You know what I'm saying? You did good.
Yeah. But you have to try it. Before you know it, you be good at it. And I'm not just saying this YouTube space. I'm not just talking, but anything you want to do in life. Because some dudes are coming home with great ideas. One of the people who I always respect, and I always say this, is Wallow.
Right.
Wallow. When Wallow came home, he just hit the ground running. I remember one video. He had $200. That's all he had, $200. Laid it out on a single bed at his grandmother's crib. He said, yeah, this is my little setup, da-da-da-da. He was himself. You could tell because we like authenticity too. So whatever you do, be true to yourself. To thy own self, be true. But he said, yo, this is all the money I got, laid out $200. He said, but watch what I do. Watch. And now he's Wallow. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to explain who he is. We all know who he is now. And that's the type of dedication and commitment you have to yourself, because this life is going to be over one day. And how you want to be remembered? What will your obituary say? I've been to some funerals where it's just a folded piece of paper, the picture on the front, sunrise, sunset, where the funeral's at. Open it up. They was born on this day to this person, that person. Here's the program, and they died on this day. That's it. Then other people, they got a booklet that don't even scratch the surface of what they've done in the world, what they've done with their potential, and how many people they positively impacted in their life. And I want my shit to be a booklet. I ain't gonna hold you. I
And
want to
look,
help
in
people.
the
I want to give people. I'm gonna say this real quick though. I want to give people this good feeling that I have of losing weight and coming out of that death style, that destructive mindset that everybody's out to get me, so I gotta get them. I gotta keep looking over my shoulder every time I turn around. Take a weapon with me everywhere I go. Hide it around the corner in the garbage. Even if I'm going to court, I'm not going nowhere where it ain't nowhere near. That's constant fear,
right.
whether we acknowledge it or not. I had to come to terms with that. But when you can break out of that mental cage, that mental cell, and literally be free and realize that there's nothing you can't do, man, ain't no feeling like that. Where you
Yo,
no longer live in fear. And there's
it,
things you're going to be cautious about.
right.
I
But
really want to encourage people to be your best self, because can't nobody be you but you.
and
Okay,
and,
ahead,
and
though.
think about this, right? My thing is, shit, you know the detractors I had. Motherfuckers
Yeah,
always telling me what I can't do, what I shouldn't do, or this, whatever. I don't listen to niggas. I just don't listen. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what my skill set is, and I know my discipline. So if no matter what people tell me, what I ain't, what I don't got, or what they did better than me, or they had this, you ain't never lose 120 pounds. So shut the fuck up. Cause that's how I be with people. Yo, I conquered insurmountable odds. Did it not complaining, just did it. Yo,
yeah,
I'm gonna walk from Harlem to Brooklyn. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna challenge myself to do this. Yo, Tad, watch I do this. Yo, Tad, watch I interview this person. Yo, where you going? Yo, I'm going to to interview Rowdy Rebel. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. After a while, like, yeah, damn, a nigga
Nipsey
working.
Hussle,
Yeah, this is
Scarface,
what I'm saying.
every
Like
certain,
this
like
is what I'm saying. A
everybody.
nigga working, and then
Rick
you
Ross.
and you remember when we lived in the crib when the artists used to call the crib phone because we didn't have beepers. So
Yeah,
Easy Mo B calling the crib, Do It All calling the crib, OJ calling the crib, Cold Chillin', record labels calling the crib because we didn't have beepers or
yeah,
cell phones. Niggas was too little. You understand what I'm saying? So when people always try to tell me what I'm not or who got more subscribers or whatever, I say, man, I don't give a damn about none of that. You don't know my journey, and you damn sure don't know my destination, and I don't know yours. So for you to look at me and tell me what I'm not and what I don't got, I find that to be comical because I come from insurmountable odds and I never complained. I just keep going. There's no tears. There's no, and again, I ain't gonna front. Today, I wasn't even really feeling my best mentally. I just felt, I don't know, since the hour went back or some shit, I'm like, yo, my aunt's birthday was the other day. It was just like a lot of things that was fucking with me. I didn't even talk to you that day. I was like, I'm not even calling Tad.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But we know, me, you, and Poe, we got the
Yeah,
shine in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
we already know. So I
And we
said,
don't take it personal.
yeah, I'm just like, yo, I don't even want to talk about certain stuff. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And say what?
Right,
You
exactly.
know
You
what
know
I'm
what I'm
saying? Like,
saying?
what we gonna
So
say? We feeling it together.
yeah, niggas got the shining. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah, you don't feel it like me
yeah,
though. I'm
yeah.
hurting more.
So the time going back, and it was just so much things. And then, I seen the kids in their costumes and stuff. So I felt a little bit better. Then I was like, yo, I got a lot of work I want to do going into this new month. You know what I'm saying? I want to go do this. And I started, thinking, but as I was like, yo, today, I spoke to you today and you said, you know what? This is a conversation that I needed to speak about because this is getting a lot off that been weighing on me because I know what I'm tired of seeing. And I know every time I go on social media, I seem like I'm bombarded by this frequency and this energy that I'm tired of.
Yeah,
So all I could do is not disrespect nobody, but I could talk
we can talk about it.
Yeah, we could
And
talk and talk other. You know what I'm saying? And I hit the gym today. I took my supplements. I got to go to a vitamin shot tomorrow. You know, I've been on some no snack shit, so I've been a little grumpy. You know what I'm saying?
and
Like,
I want to say
go
something that you
ahead.
said before we go too far. Like you said, and no disrespect, because I don't. A lot of these men, I don't think I know any of them, but I respect men. Like, and I'll say this real quick: the young dudes that I had in Boy Scouts and that came up behind me in the streets, they always say, "Yo, you never try to treat us like a little dude." You always, because they 30 now. Like these little dudes is in their 30s now. I had them when they was in their single digits and 10 years old, 12 years old. And I told them, I always showed y'all love because all boys grow to be men and all men are worthy of respect. So they know how I deal with them. And I address all men with respect. It's not about fear, it's about respect because I want people to respect me. So I'm going to approach you with respect. But what I see, and I see potential for dudes to grow because these are some powerful people and not powerful as into, they like Jay-Z powerful where they got politicians in their pockets, but they men of influence. And everybody has value. You just have to tap into it. You know what I'm saying? Like Prince is home. I don't know Prince from a can of paint, only know his reputation. He seemed like a solid dude because he's not a man of many words. But when he speaks, it lends value. In fact, I remember when Preem was locked up, rather he's still locked up, but when he called home, it was the incident about his son, and they spoke about it, Preem and Prince. And what they did was give legit OG wisdom. Talk about honor, respect, integrity, silence, the power in silence. Sometimes these grown men need to know everything you think don't need to be regurgitated. You
Silent and
don't have to
listen
speak
have
whenever.
the same letters. I always tell people that.
Yeah, yeah. And I want dudes to win. I really do in my heart of hearts because I know who we are as black men. I understand the struggle. So every time people talk about, yeah, I was locked up, I didn't do a long stretch. I fight my cases. I'm sorry. You
And
put
when
me in the jail, I'm going to the law library. I'm not fighting over the TV. I'm not arguing over the phone. I'm heading to the law library. My uncle Zay told me, he said, yo, the keys you looking for is in them law books. He
mm,
said, don't look for the metal keys, look for them paper keys. I went to the law library. Didn't know how to shepherdize. I didn't even know what I was looking for. He just told me to go to the law library. I asked dudes in there, yo, how I could look up on my case. It's like, well, where your paper at? Do. Looked at my paperwork. All right, they charge you with this, that, and the third. So you want to look at this, that. Told me what shepardizing is. Just only stop trying to read everything. Only read what pertains to your case. But in them law books, at the beginning of a case and at the end of a case, there's a key. And I see what Uncle Zay was talking about. Those are the keys that's going to get you out. But dudes are low level thinkers. Not all. But a lot of dudes are low level thinkers. So when they get locked up, first thing they want to do is, yo, who running the phone? Who running the TV? My first thing was getting back home to my kids because I didn't want to leave them outside to the wolves by
but you know
themselves.
why they
And
think
I
like
know
that,
they had
Tad?
Drew. I know they had Jamel.
Now
Say
why
it
they
again.
thought like that? Because they plan on staying there.
Right.
So they
But they
was
don't
getting
want to.
comfortable. Yeah, but they was getting comfortable. Nah, you can't get comfortable.
But right. And I mean, dudes do because it's easy to get comfortable because after you beat the initial fear of like, yo, who am I had to get it on with, and then you run into people you cool with and you get love. You're like, oh, you let your guards down a little, but you like, all right, ain't as bad as I, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to pop off in here like I thought I would. Next thing you know, you get to use the phone, you get to watch TV, you eating good, you go to the store shopping, and now you comfortable. Now you in that cycle. And of course it's a survival mechanism because there's life or death in there. But I'm talking about once you come out of that element, once you come home and you could be reunited with your wife, you don't have to see her on a conjugal. You can literally take your children or your grandchildren to the park. You can literally buy them an ice cream cone and do the things that your grandparents probably didn't do with you. I tell the kids all the time, I love my grandfather to life. Love him to life. Love that man like nothing I could describe. But he never took us to the park. He was always working.
Word.
And even though
To
the
my
store
pop,
was
right?
literally around the corner,
Pop,
yeah, talking
right?
about pop.
I don't even
Yeah,
remember
talking about
Pop
pop.
outside of the store.
Exactly. He's just always in the store working. Always in the store working. You know what I'm saying? And we all love him. All the cousins, we love him to life.
We went
But
and
he
got
didn't get to do
candy
those
and
things with
cookies and
us.
all that, but That
Yeah,
was
get
about
the
it.
candies and cookies, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm able to take my grandkids out to the park. I'm able to take my kids to the park. All of these things, I'm able to watch them graduate. We didn't graduate, Sarah J. We was getting kicked out of school, bounced from school to school. You know what I'm saying? So I say that because I want dudes to understand that that level of courage you have to survive the streets and to survive jail, use that gumption, use that courage to go into the next phase of your life for ultimate success, for that thing you really want out of life now. Because we see we couldn't get it with our street dreams. That's why a lot of dudes got jammed up. Keep saying, you're going to hit a ceiling in the streets. You're going to be move the most bricks. You're going to catch the most bodies. You're going to be the illest dude in Nebraska, all that, all that. But then what?
Right.
The folks is coming. Ask me. Ask Preem.
Right. And
Look
you,
at Suge. Look at Big U. Look at Puff.
right.
You want to do it, and not saying as black men in this country, not saying that we ain't gonna get in no type of scuffle with law enforcement. I'm not saying that at all. But you want to minimize it. Jay-Z says, shit, the way I see it now, I may never go to jail
Right.
because now he's insulated. He literally lived his dream. Kanye literally lived this dream. And they're no different from me and you and Doggie, you know, in the audience. We can all do it, but we got to get out of this criminal mindset.
And stop acting
Why
like
do we care
bitches.
who snitched? Yeah, stop. Why do we care about who snitched? I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you want to stay in that criminal element, then by all means do that. But if you're gonna stay in the criminal element, also do the other rule of the criminal world. Shut the fuck up. Be
Right.
quiet.
And stop acting
You
like
want to be a
bitches.
criminal? Just shut up. We don't hear nothing about it. Stop indicting yourself. Talk about who snitched when you sitting here on camera talking about what you gonna do to somebody when you see them and this, that, and the third.
And stop acting like bitches.
Yeah. Real
Reason
quick,
why I
I'm gonna
keep
pass
saying
the
that
mic
though.
back too.
Reason why I keep
I'm gonna
saying
pass
that.
the
Go
mic
ahead,
too.
go ahead.
Real quick. I'm gonna give you the mic back
Yeah.
about this bitch shit.
Yeah.
Yo, when these celebrities got their shows and they pop-ups, brothers, it's not a good look when we looking like groupies, man.
Stop acting
Dudes
like
are
bitches.
clamoring to get next to a dude and they knocking the chicks over to get next to an artist. Yo, that looks crazy.
Stop acting like
That looks
bitches.
very, very crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, dog. Go
Stop
ahead,
acting
man.
like bitches.
The reason why I keep saying that is because stop talking from the perspective of defeat and what you can't do. I didn't listen. Watch we revisit this conversation next year. Watch where we at. Watch where we be. Because there's a lot of manifestation. It's a lot of determination, discipline, and execution. And that shit is implemented every day. Every day is implemented. The new plan is implemented every day, and just carrying out the plans and just sticking to the script and just keep chipping away. A diamond is formed under pressure, and sometimes it takes thousands of years for a diamond. And a lot of diamonds are in the rough. We all diamonds. That's why it's my name. You know what I'm saying? That's why the name of my shit was Diamonds Up Production. It was so many things dealing with the diamond because it's one of the most beautiful pieces of jewelry, one of the most beautiful pieces of gems. But it's not formed overnight. Now these niggas is lab made. These niggas is lab made. We formed. I've been doing this shit for 19 years. I never had a boss. But I've always been a leader. Never had a boss. But I've always been a leader. And I never wanted to be nobody's boss. It was a time where doing the music, Tad used to say to me, pull rank on niggas. And I used to say no, because these niggas don't want my leadership. Tad used to always say, yo, pull rank. Nah, these niggas don't want my leadership. These niggas, they don't want a leader. I'm a leader. I'm telling them what to do. I'm telling them how to write the songs. I got the music for them. I got the studio. I got everything. I've provided everything. Leadership. I provided the direction. They don't want my leadership.
All they got to do is bring the talent.
All they got to do is bring the talent and show up. I'm going to do everything else. They don't want my leadership. Because other than that, I would be bossing them around. Yo, you got to do. That's not a leader. That's why I did the show the other day, the difference between leaders and bosses. I gave niggas option. I give niggas what I told y'all. Bosses tell people what to do. Leaders give direction. It's a difference. And I'm leading by example because I'm in the studio every day. So to be a leader, you got to lead by example. I'm here every day. I'm working every day on new music. So now when we start getting the second win and the second go around, and people like, yo, I want to nah. But I always say, I ain't a boomerang. You throw me away, I don't come back. Because you felt strong in what you had going on. And when I say stop acting like a bitch, again, it's not gender specific. It's just that I don't like people telling me what they can't do when I know what you can do. And especially, it ain't even no you, it's a we. Look what we could do if we put our minds together. Look what we could do if we do this. You understand what I'm saying? So my whole thing is like, yo, me and Tad a lot of times, we say, yo, we got to do this, we got to do this. All right, yo, let's do it like this. Yo, hit buddy, you know, just hit certain people. Yo, flying in. We just know how to coordinate shit. That's it. I never heard him say, yo, nah, I can't do that now. Why not? When we was going to Drink Champs, remember little buddy was like, yo, I can't go. Fuck you mean you can't go? You like, why you can't go? Because you ain't got the money. Fuck you need money for?
My money tight.
Yeah, what do you need money
I'm
for?
there, dog there, your uncle there. Like,
Yeah, you gotta go.
But he was the MVP because he did all the coordinating. And
This is what I'm saying. Because now, with the right direction, he's the baby, but he took the leadership role of doing that. And you said there's nothing wrong with having a boss. I don't mind playing Pippen as long as we get the chip. See, Jordan was never Pippen's boss. He was the leader of the team. He practiced the hardest. He ran the fastest. He ran the most. Jordan was never Pippen's boss. He was the leader. He never was his boss. Pippen learned from Jordan by his work ethic and his leadership on the court, off the court, in practice. See, that's the mentality that I want you to be able to understand the difference between the boss and the leader. Jordan was never Pippen's boss. He was the leader of the team. And being the leader of the team, one of the biggest things of a leader is leading by example. So a boss tell niggas what to do. A leader show you what to do based off of what they doing. That's why if you look at my video, why a lot of rap crews don't work, because somebody always want to be the boss. But who's the leader?
Yep. And bosses pay people. Let's be clear.
And then they hire and fire people.
But they don't even hire you.
Yeah, they know. Yeah.
They the boss. They ain't got no bread for you. They can't feed you. They can't meet your financial obligations monthly. So you're not really a boss.
Right.
No.
He coached on the floor, but look, he coached on the floor, but the coach is still the leader though. It's not the boss. The boss was owner. The owner is the boss.
The owner, the one who makes sure everybody get paid is
But
the
you
boss.
still need a floor leader. You still need a floor coach. You still need a floor general. That's not a boss. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not a leader. So when you look at a lot of these guys in these YouTube space and you start really doing the knowledge and realize who's from the Doggie Diamonds tree, it's going to fuck your head up. When I was on Drink Champs, what did Nori tell y'all? If it wasn't for you, there'd be no Drink Champs.
Word.
But nobody would look at me and say, damn, you...
But that's why he had to. He said,
Right.
I had to have you come up here.
Right. But nobody will look at it like, damn, this nigga's not an artist. He's not a rapper. He's not none of this. He is, but he's not known for that. But I got my own episode of Drink Champs because what I do behind the scenes, how I lead niggas to certain things, how I tell certain dudes, how you just inspire people. It ain't about, telling dudes to do this, do that. Nah, bro, you do this because this is what I did. This is what I would do in that situation. Matter of fact, let me do it with you. You know what I'm saying? Most of the interviews that I did, Tad was there, so he already saw how to do certain things. And then when he do shit, I don't be like, nah, you fucking up. Nah, this is how you do this. he was on the phone the other day. Remember I was telling you about YouTube and I wasn't even in front of the computer. I was driving. I said, nah, click the bell on the right.
I was like,
click
yo, how you do this, that, and the third?
Yeah. Click the little gear right there. If you do this, it's going to say advanced features. I was driving. I said, yo, I'm driving. When I get in front of the computer, I probably could further help you. But I'm driving because I know.
You helped me before you got to the
Before
crib.
I got to the crib. I never even got on the computer.
I said, nah. I said, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I said, it's going to be something called advanced features. You got to click this, scroll all the way down and all that shit. This is shit.
Go over here and do this. Go over there and
click
do
the top right. Yo, click the top right. Click this, start this right there. You understand what I'm saying? Start this right here, hit set, then hit new clip. I'm not in front of no computer. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not in front of no computer, but this is what I'm saying. Some of us are able to help people and lead people on their path because, yo, OG Wisdom is some shit that I'm like, yo, the name of y'all shit could be OG Wisdom, you and Gutter. This is the logo. I make the logo. Big Steel made a logo too. I said, yo, I could do the font. So we made, so you know, it's a team effort. And then now they off and running. You understand what I'm saying? And this, and we saying all of this.
Go like and subscribe.
Yeah, OG Wisdom Podcast. So the point that we trying to make is that we never went off of what we couldn't do. We ain't the richest dudes, but we ain't the poorest dudes, but we damn sure ain't where we was oppressing people, hurting people, getting hurt, getting our ass whipped, getting shot, getting stabbed, getting locked up, hurting ourselves, drinking, smoking, you know, all this shit with these chicks and all that shit. Dudes don't do that shit no more. Dudes do grown man shit. And the results is gonna be what it's gonna be. And sometimes you might be the only person that's doing something. And you feel like the odd one. You feel, shit, Friday night, I'd be like, what you doing? They could be like, I'm in the crib. Why everybody Friday night looking for the turn up? Looking for where they gonna go get a drink at. Looking for where they gonna watch the game. And I'm not telling people don't have fun. But your fun should be a learning experience and it should be true fun. Not fun because everybody else is doing it. And you don't want to be left out. Nah, you got to get left out sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to get left out. I was looking at Halloween. I'm like, damn, do they even get the kids dressed anymore? The fucking adults got on costumes. Where the hell is the children? You see more adults celebrating Halloween than the damn children because, again, it's the mind state. You bought the kid the fucking, the mask with the string around it in the plastic suit, but you got on a $400 Halloween costume. So again, our priorities is all twisted of how we think and how we carry ourselves because I'm going to be real. Many people was deprived as children of their fun. Many of us did have to grow up fast. So we do look at stuff and be youthful. But like I told you, when it comes to history, you could visit there, but you can't stay there. Have your fun. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy different foods. If you want to drink, have a drink. If you want to smoke, have a smoke. If you want to go out, if you want to go to the movies, do all those things. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But when it comes to execution and you got babies watching you and you got children watching you and you got the youth watching you, or even if somebody 3-4 years younger than you watching you, you got to be a better example. Because if not...
Or even older.
Yeah, or even older than you. If not, what you doing is you creating more people like what you don't even want to be like no more. Because if you had it your way, you wouldn't be like that. But that's all you know. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times the dudes, some niggas could talk that jail shit. I ain't really good. I ain't never been there. So I ain't going to talk that. That don't make me less than a man. You know, it's some dudes that be like, yo, this nigga's intelligent. He's smart. He must not be a street guy. Most of the street guys who did the most street shit, they never lifted a finger and they was in a suit. Every day somebody pushes the buttons on this country and they not in the street. And they control policy. They control everything. See, when you learn about control, when you learn about uniform and you learn about true power that come from your mind, you know that you don't execute nothing. You know sometimes you defeated motherfuckers and you never even did nothing. It might have been what you said. Some niggas is defeated off your potential. Mike Tyson defeated dudes and never even stepped in the ring sometimes. Sometimes he didn't even say shit. Just was the look on his face. But all of us got infinite potential. But tap into you and stop always saying what you can't do. That's why I said stop acting like bitches. And if you think you can't do it, stop discouraging others. That's one of the worst things you could do.
Don't let nobody take you off your shit.
Don't let nobody take you off your shit. Go ahead, Tad. Close us out.
No, I was gonna say, because whether people agree with us or not, even if you don't agree, still do you. That's all we saying. You know what I'm saying? Salute everybody who out there pursuing their dreams, man. Yo, I'm over 50 years old, right? I ain't think I'd live this long. Be honest with you. But I'm here. Now what? And that's the thing we always got to ask ourselves. All right, I made it. Now what? I didn't die in the streets. I didn't die at the gut. Now what? I've been fortunate enough to do some dope ass shit. I've been able to run marathons, go back and forth to Africa a few times, did some dope shit with the children of the community, created a youth group in the projects where I used to cause the most damage. You know what I mean? Got to meet some interesting people, got to meet world leaders, really did some dope shit. And now what? Because what I'm about is legacy building. How will I be remembered when I transition? And more importantly, how will you be remembered when you transition? So again, I salute all the brothers that's coming home, doing their thing, figuring out this digital space, telling their stories. Because nobody's story is more valuable than the next one. Only value you have is what you create in yourself. And if you could pull jewels out of the tragedy that you've been through, that's what we mean to go from tragedy to triumph, then by all means. Because we only here to change the narrative, change the mindset, because we believe in our brothers. We believe in our community. So we're not going to talk about black women and not talk about black men. We're not going to talk about black children, but not talk about the black parents. But it's all on us as men. So this conversation tonight is for the men. It's for the brothers, man.
Change the conversation. Change the Y'all got to change the conversation, because the conversation has not been uplifting. It has not been conducive to anything that we want to do, trying to do. Yeah, we did this, we did that. We all was a part of oppressing our community, oppressing each other, hurting each other. Some of us that ain't talking a long time behind old dumb shit. All right, that's cool. Now what? Now do we go? You know what I'm saying? I got on camera 10 years ago. Exactly 10 years ago. I don't want to be on. I don't even like the camera. I don't want to be on the camera. I don't even want to do some of this shit.
Happy camera anniversary, dog.
Word, you know what I'm saying? I think I got on.
When you didn't get on camera.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to be on camera. I just wanted my voice to be heard, and I wanted the product to be A1. You get what I'm saying? So when I got on the camera, I was like, yo, I got to make it count. I can't be on the camera 300 pounds. Nah, lose weight. Get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Get you a dope pair of shades and shit. Then it ended up being my trademark. Shades. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I understand the value of the shades because these lights.
Every time I say the lights be bright, everybody be like, why are you wearing shades in the house? Yo, I realize I ain't got my other lights on. Oh shit. Hold on. Let me show y'all something. Yeah, I ain't even got my lights on. So again, like, people don't understand, like, the value in you, the value in believing yourself, and the value of just keeping going, keep grinding, keep chipping away to make it to television, to make it to billboards and Times Square and all this shit. Like, I already achieved a lot that I want to achieve. And then I started saying, damn, I got other goals. See that? It just came on. I'm using the app. You know what I'm saying? Then I started saying, yo, what's other things that I want to do? So I start reaching new heights, and I start saying, yo, I want to do this and do that. So a lot of things that people think that they aspire to do, that's not what I want to do. Your direction is your direction. You might say, yo, I want the biggest this, I want this, I want that. By all means, go for it. Elmatic, I appreciate you. But yo, every day we talk about the children and our family directly. The children in our family is the most important, because they not going to come on YouTube and see me acting the ass or doing certain things, because they all got access to all this stuff. So why be the first embarrassment in your family if you already was?
Now, I want to say also, part of this conversation is prevention too, because we know substance abuse and alcoholism is rampant in our community and our families too.
And hypersexuality.
Yeah, and hypersexuality. And when you're intoxicated, you don't make the best decisions.
You make the worst decisions when you're drunk.
Of all time.
Chicks start looking good that you know ain't right. That's why y'all baby moms be ugly. But go ahead.
But we
Baby
we
Mars be
definitely want
crackheads, but go ahead.
we definitely want to take control of our community again. Not on no military, militant stuff. I mean, if that's what you all about, but we can just do it with our mindset and the way we change our behavior, how we interact with each other, how we spend our money with each other, how we not dump our money into other communities because we keep talking about finances. We keep talking about what we need for our community. We will never be in power if we keep begging other people to do for us what we can do for ourselves. When I had my youth group, people always say, "Yo, how do you get funding?" My funding come from the community.
Right,
Anytime you do something in the group, you get a discount. Just pass the discount on to the people.
right,
Don't charge them full price, or even if you charge them full price, let them know. Let them know you're charging them full price, and the extra money is going to the next event because you're doing this, you're doing that, and have proof and evidence of what you accepting money for. Anytime I've accepted money, I've done trips, I've collected books and bought book bags with the money that we collected, and people were seeing. In fact, I always invite people to be a part of it.
right,
People were always welcome to be a part of anything that I was doing involving the community and the children so we could have this level of transparency. Because this is important because transparency is how we build trust. And once we got trust, there's almost nothing we can't do because then we could cover more ground. Because if I know Doggie's on the east side and I'm on the west side, we trust each other enough to know that the mission's gonna get done. And when people see our results, then they're gonna want to join. So while Doggie's on the east side and I'm on the west side, somebody can hit the north side, somebody can hit the south side. And now
right.
we got all these points covered because we built that trust. And now we can move the show on the road and get things done. It's not hard for us to take control of our community. It's not hard to create safe spaces for our young people and our elderly. We just have to make the decision that that's what we really want. And yeah, we could get money in the interim of doing it all. Whether, I'm not telling nobody how to get their money or anything, but I'm saying if we want to be an economically viable force in this society, we got to start doing things that lifts us up instead of tearing us down. People keep beating each other up, man. That's painful
With
for
the
us to
same
see
shit.
because I go to the white folks channel and they beating us up.
Right.
Go to them other channels, they beating us up. I come to us for love and we beating each other up.
Yep. You
So
pussy. Yo, you did, yeah, yeah. Like, yo,
yeah,
god damn. Like, nobody, who the hell love us?
we're right. So we just retreat and go in the house. Yo, I don't never see you.
Right.
Safe
Yeah.
in my crib
Right. Because,
until the
and I'm
police
glad,
come kick your
and
door
I'm
in.
glad that you said that because that's how I wanted to end this too. Don't be afraid to retreat. Retreating sometimes is not surrendering sometimes. Sometimes you got to do certain things for your own serenity, for your own mind. Like if you be in certain places and the aura is bad and the energy is bad, leave. It's okay. Yo, I left. I wasn't really feeling the vibes. That don't make you pussy. That don't make you act. That make you a survivor and that make you smart. So sometimes when you in certain places, I don't care if you in a party, if it's a work party, if you in a certain train car and you go to another car, it's cool. Serenity, solitude is cool. Sometimes just because you alone, that don't mean you lonely. Get in tune with yourself. Do what you like. If you like to read, if you by yourself, nobody could talk about you reading. If you like watching certain movies, if you by yourself, nobody could talk about you watching that movie. Be able to be one with yourself because looking for validation from other people, they're never really going to give it to you. Especially if they know that's what you want. Something about people, when they know what you want the most, they won't give it to you because people like to starve you out when it comes to certain things that they know you need. So when you look for other people, when you look to other people for validation, sometimes people just never gonna give it to you. So don't look for them. Just say, yo, I'm valid because of this. And yo, I always tell you, I told y'all 10 years ago, get you a white chalkboard. Write some of your things down. Knock them out. Cross
Got
this
mine.
off. Yo, I crossed this off. Yo, I achieved this. I achieved this. Yo, I went the whole week. Yo, I ain't eat no snacks. Yo, I drank a gallon of water. You got to start doing your things. But who's a snitch? Who's a rat? Who shot who? Who did this time in jail? Who did this? Who knocked who out? Who beefing with who? That shit, how does that help you in your household, your immediate self in your immediate household? How does that help you? It don't. Use it sometime as a form of entertainment. But when I start seeing you tweeting about it and I start seeing you making Facebook statuses, I say, damn, all of the things that you could have spoke about, all the information you could have gave people, you chose to say that shit? Out of all the videos you could have posted, you sat there singing Many Men Smoking Reefer. Out of all the videos you could have posted of yourself. We want to see that your baby is 4 and can read. You ain't got to show your baby face, but it's certain things that you could be proud of. But you want to sit there, smoke reefer, and singing Many Men and all that shit. How are you proud of yourself? That shit ain't nothing to be proud of. So I don't look at dysfunction and dysfunctional people and be like, he crazy, yo, he wild. Now I know wild niggas. Some of them smoke crack, some of them dead, and some of them in jail. It was the smart ones that said, yo, you know what? I don't want to be like that no more. Yo, that shit was corny. That shit was whack. That's all I really could say to y'all. So, yo, Tad, of course, I always thank you for joining me and shit like that. This is our regular conversation and shit. We just
said we're going to have this publicly today.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to our brother Bomani.
Bomani's in the building,
Bomani
yes.
in the chat,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to all the moderators. Shout out to all the people who donated. Amir Prescott said, we need the most economic spending, but not supporting our own. You know what, though? Let me close on that, too, right? Because I think the problem is that we start not to be able to recognize who our own is. Because when you into this and I'm into that, you don't look familiar to me, right? Because if you sitting there smoking reefer and doing certain shit, I'm telling you, I'm fucked up. I'd be like, yo, I don't even fuck with them type of niggas. You know what I'm saying? I want to deal with like minds. I don't want to go to Bath and Body Works to get candles. You got candles? Okay. And then at the same time, I want to say this too, and this is very, very important. Black people don't have bad customer service. Black people got bad patience. The seller got bad patience, and the patron got bad patience. Sometimes if you didn't get the products out in a time, people gonna complain. But then sometimes the person who paid got to understand, yo, if you doing this from the ground up, it might take them a little while. Patience is the key, and communication is everything. And watch how you talk to people, because nobody ain't your child. And everybody, when they get spoken to a certain way, it does something to their ego. And stop trying to brother me, OG me, legend me your way into a favor. It's $100 for promo. I don't care who you are. I'm going to be a legend. Yeah, I'm going to be a legend. I'm going to be all of that still. But you can't legend me, OG me, brother me your way into a favor. If you respect what I do and you think that I can help you, it only costs $100. If you want to get interviewed on the channel, we'll talk about a price and all that shit too. But one thing about me, anytime I need something from somebody, which is rarely, but if I do and I want to give somebody a play, I always say, yo, how much? Nah, I don't want you to have me. I want you to be able to feed your family. Because if I got it, I'm going to spend it somewhere. I'm going to spend it somewhere. So I'd rather spend it with you.
Close, though,
go ahead.
Before you close, touch on that, though. We got to circulate the money. It starts
circulate
with us. Don't wait till somebody open up a burger spot, then be like, yo, I get burgers. If somebody got a service, support it. Right. If they selling that, yo, you know how many t-shirts, dog, while I was switching the gear out today, putting away summer clothes, pulling out winter clothes. Yo, it's mad shirts I bought that I don't have no intention on wearing.
Right.
But just on the strength of supporting whoever was doing it, I pulled it out. Those shirts are getting donated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got to start right there. But we got to get in the mindset of spending. Stop looking at everybody as trying to get us. We got to start looking for the best in each other again, because we all we got.
And everybody started at zero.
Everybody.
Stop looking at somebody greater because they at 100 and the person is at 10. Yo, they started at 0 too. They started at 0. What Poe said, put a 1 in front of the none and make some worth appear. It just is what it is. Right. Like, yo, at the end of the day, everybody started at 0. Everybody started somewhere. If you got a YouTube and you trying to get your YouTube grinding, keep grinding. But I tell you, Tad, yo, you got to share shit that's old. It don't matter. Everybody started at 0. Stop idolizing people because of their perception, because their reality is different. I'm telling you, reality is different from perception. Perception is how you view it, but that don't mean that's how it is. That's why you got things called optical illusions. It's not what you think. It's just your perception of it. Magic ain't real. There's no such thing as magic. There's no such thing as coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. But your vantage point and your viewpoint and your perch and how you view shit, you might not be ready to see certain things a certain way because you're not developed enough in your learning base and your knowledge base. But stop idolizing shit, because why you think there's no top 100, no top hip hop songs? Because they started cracking down on the bots. Just simple mathematics. Yep. They started cracking down on the bots. So now people can't bot their way into the top this. They started, they stopped pushing people through. See, a lot of rappers are not rappers. They're influencers that rapped. You understand what I'm saying? They're influencers that rap. But like I say every night, what did they influence you to do? Did they influence you, my pussy so? Or they influence you to think you a drug dealer, a gangster, a killer? What type of influence is that? How many people say, yo, I graduated college, I go to school, yo, I was in the crib doing that and the third, and I still whip somebody's ass. Because don't think them dudes that don't drive the bus or the train won't whip your ass. They went to the gym this morning before they went to work.
Like I said, those are the OGs, though.
This is what I'm saying.
Those on the bus and the train, those are the ones who was really doing the one.
What Bone said, this nigga think I'm a fish fry nigga. Straight up and down. Dude put in the most, one of the dudes put in the most work in the hood, went legit, worked in a fish place, doing what he gotta do. And he like, yo, niggas really must think I'm a fish fry nigga. So like I tell some of y'all must really think
dangerous.
Y'all be really just thinking I'm some nigga on YouTube. I hope you don't have to find out. That's why I be saying, all right, whatever. But Ted, until next time, man, we out of here. Make sure y'all hit that like button, leave a comment after video as well. And make sure you subscribe to the OG Wisdom Podcast. Peace. Until next time, don't forget.
Doggie Diamonds did this.